Say, I got a game 6 on the ice down in Florida with Lord Stanley in the building. We'll get to that. A lot of movement towards Florida as we open up the program. Say hi, Mike Babchick. Good to hear Babs getting some solo shifts in there, talking to Mike in the OC. That's like Starksy and Hutch. You know what I'm saying? A duo made in heaven. Speaking of which, the big guy, Dustin Swedelson, myself, Patrick Meagher, Nia Hardman, New York City, Ryan Smith, Las Vegas on YouTube. You can find us at VSiN Live. Dustin perched up there on his throne at the Win SiriusXM studios. Thank you to John Goulet and the crew over there. Okay, a couple of things. Let me just open this up because yesterday we were right around $148 on Florida, and DraftKings just went to 170. So the expectations are that Lord Stanley will be presented to the Panthers tonight. Obviously, a dominant performance in Game 5. We return now for Game 6. See if Florida can close it out on their ice. There's Marchand and the Checkers heading into the building. I've got the game on to my left here. It's not going to start until a little after 5 o'clock, so we have plenty of time to lay this out. Bennett, 5 goals for the Panthers. And this is really a call to action for McDavid and Draisaitl. But I'm going to focus on McDavid because, as Dustin and I were discussing a little bit earlier, listen, the greatest player of his generation, easily the best player in hockey right now. But I feel like, and this is no shade to Canada, is he a soft hockey player? Should he be doing more? Should we feel his presence a little more in his second straight Stanley Cup where he's now on the verge of elimination? We've heard a lot about McDavid for many, many years. The graduation to Gretzky, he's better than Crosby. Crosby has won Stanley Cups. This is where he needs to step up. I don't need just a nice couple assists tonight from Connor McDavid. I need to see some goals. I need G's and I need A's. And we need a Game 7 back in Edmonton. That's what the great ones do. You are taking after the great one. That's Wayne Gretzky. Well, stand up tonight, face off, elimination. Let's see if you can get it done. That is the game. Now, the pricing on the game, and for your needs, go to VSiN.com, but your pricing on the game, again, DraftKings has gone 170. Now, DraftKings is a very public book, bunch of donks. DraftKings is a very public book, and what does that mean? It means they just take a ton of action from a million people, and they're generally going to bet the favorites. So you're going to have Florida home ice tonight as the favorite be pushed up at a book like that because it's just a lot of people like, hey, 1 + 1, and they might be right. I'm not pretending like you're not going to be right if you bet the Panthers tonight. All right, you may even lay that 1.5 and get a plus price, like the big guy. Who is he can't wait to get on the jet taking off tomorrow. You know, he's got a girlfriend now. My guess is, here's the thing about Dustin. He's going to be missing work on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going throwback. We're going old school. Now, he'll be tuning in to see if he's mentioned, which is a weird proposition when you're on vacation. But we're going to go old school. Now, the big guy, it was years before he got there. I am going to get weird Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I guarantee you. But the big guy, see, here's the thing about Dustin Swedelson that you all have to pay attention to. He's not going to this wedding back in the day because work would matter more than friend's dumb wedding. He is going to the wedding because he now has somebody that he can present. And by the way, I'm not saying this is a negative. I'm saying this is a positive to D. Swedelson, who is laying a 1.5 goals tonight. That's part of the conversation. With the Panthers, I'm saying it as a positive for Dustin Swedelson because he's got his I'll let you speak in a second. Take it easy, Mr. Host. He's got his priorities in order. Going to a wedding and being an adult as opposed to missing out on work and getting Wally pipped. All right, you can throw Goulet in that seat. It'd be fine. Just remember that. Goulet's a good guy. Dustin Swedelson laying the 1.5 goals, waiting for McDavid to do something so we can get a Game 7. Maybe I can get some content out of it while you're being lazy on vacation. What's going on?
First on Connor McDavid, then we'll get to me. But Connor McDavid should channel a great philosopher. He should channel the great philosopher Nick Sirianni. Less thinking, talent take over. That's what we're waiting for Connor McDavid.
Like the
Less
Costco.
thinking, talent take over.
Yeah.
Speaking of talent, my girlfriend is going with me to New York City. That was a good stop. That was a great transition. And
I know. I just can
especially
tell that people, when you say my girlfriend, people drink. You know what I'm
I know.
saying?
Not
People are
because
hammered.
they're playing not because they're playing the drinking game every time I mention it, because it depresses them to hear it over and over again.
Before we get to you, any surprise here with the crazy $170 over at DraftKings? I mean, you can find sharp books are still in the mid 150s on Florida, but this game has jumped up quite a bit. 6.5 on the total. All 5 games have gone over the total, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking at the betting splits at VSiN.com where you can see where the money's going, basically where the percentage of the handle of the money being bet is greater than the percentage of amount of bets on the games. That lets you know that there's more money being bet on that side. Both DraftKings and Circa, high percentages. One will look at DraftKings first, national book, 60% of the handle, 61% of the bets there. On the Circa side of things, we've got 81% of the handle on just 58% of the bets. And the thing that jumped out to me the most back to DraftKings, laying a goal and a half like I did, and I caught plus 160 with it. 83% of the handle on just 68% of the bets believe Florida is going to win by a goal and a half.
By the way, they just showed Henrik. We all agree Henrik Lundqvist, the old Ranger goalie, is a good-looking dude, but he has more makeup on right now than Elizabeth Taylor did.
Yeah, I thought the point
it's
of
actually
makeup,
it's disconcerting.
Isn't the point of the makeup is that it looks it makes you look better and more natural, not that you notice there's makeup on the person? I'm not an expert by any means, but I feel like if I can tell that that's not what your skin's supposed to look like, you're probably doing makeup wrong.
Lindquist looks like he's going to the circus. That's all I know. Or Lindquist, whatever his name is. Lundqvist, it doesn't matter.
No,
yeah,
him.
I'm actually pretty fired up about the game tonight because you got to let them hang. If you're the Oilers, you have to let them hang. And we did see this in game 4, where, again, just a repeat, where we started to get the classic talk back because they had an overtime winner. But remember, they were down 3-0 in that game, came back 3-3, took a lead 4-3, lost the lead with 20 seconds to go 4-4, go to overtime, a Draisaitl banger. And then we go to a game 5. And then in the game 5, they sucked. And part of it is the goaltending. I'm not sure it matters, but it looks like it's going to be Skinner between the pipes tonight.
Yeah, and they were at home. They're at home. How do you show up in your barn with the season on the line the way that it is to make this thing interesting with a golden opportunity and you have no energy? It looked like they were just going through the motions in the biggest spot of the season. I just think that we're at a point with both the Edmonton Oilers and the Indiana Pacers where you can only have to overcome this onslaught you're getting from the other end so many times, being overwhelmed, one by Florida's offense in this series, Oklahoma City's defense in the NBA. You can only capture that energy so many times to have to overcome it before you just fall apart.
I hear you. A scoop of chocolate, a scoop of vanilla. Don't waste my effing time. Like Brady Anderson, the great Oriole outfielder, once said when asking, what's your favorite ice cream? He said, a scoop of vanilla, a scoop of chocolate. Don't waste my effing time.
I'd never heard that quote.
And you know what it is? You know what I apply that quote to tonight? Hey, Edmonton, I was dialed in for game 5. You wasted my effing time.
Yes.
That was supposed to be a W. We were supposed to come back here, Florida game 6, and then force, obviously, with Florida winning a game 7. But scoop of vanilla, scoop of chocolate, you assholes.
No, they robbed us. Them and the Pacers. The Pacers on Friday.
Oh, we'll get to the Pacers.
Al Saturday.
Al in White Plains. Where you at?
Paging Al. They screwed us. We deserved a game 7. It felt like we were heading towards a game 7, and they no-showed. One in the fourth quarter, one for the game.
I hear you, brother. Now, back to you. And listen, I want you to don't do the thing in 888 Mad Dog 6, 888-623-3646. Don't do the Dustin too cool for school thing that you've been doing lately. Be the old school Dustin, just being honest. Where did I tell lies?
Okay. You're partially correct.
Oh, a lot of words coming.
I still would have went to this wedding, but I would have went on the red-eye Friday, landed Saturday morning, gone to the wedding, and then on Sunday, first flight out to make sure I was prepared for Monday.
Yeah, you wouldn't have missed shows, but I'm giving you props. It's a priority thing. Old school Dustin would have, first off, he wouldn't have missed shows. He would have crawled to New York after the show. And then
do the show from New York. I would
exactly
try to book a studio.
And I would have said, please, just go away. because Wally Pip, the story. But listen, you're not getting replaced. No one's going anywhere. But that would have been in the back of your mind in some way.
I mean,
and you would have been dialed into the show to see if I mentioned you. Like that is a no effing brainer, and you probably still will be. Your girlfriend's gonna be annoyed.
Yeah, no, just to make sure, like I'm still in good standing. No, the Wally Pip thing, that was programmed in me by my parents when I was a child. And I had to look over my shoulder every time I ever did anything, thinking someone was coming for whatever I was doing at the time. So you're dead on with that. I absolutely would have. I would have just done a quick trip, Friday night, Saturday, back Sunday. Wouldn't have enjoyed New York at all. Going to the best city in the world, and I would have enjoyed it for 1 second.
But this time around, 40-year-old, you're a man. You have, as you've mentioned a few times over the past few months, you have a girlfriend.
I do.
And you're going to go enjoy yourself. And that's the way it should be. This is called life, my friend. Live in the moment. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Look, I'm motivated by the fact that I'm 40 years old, as you mentioned right now, which means based with the way I take care of myself, I'm lucky if I got 40 more years. So let's start doing things.
There you go. A little death talk to get us started.
Little death talk. Get you motivated.
Little mortality conversation from the big guy. He's got a couple of go-tos, and being fat and dying is one of them.
It's both of them.
I mean, I think
2 for 1.
I think you look 1. I think you look good. I'm talking about what you do. You talk about that a lot. So
yeah. Literally killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what that means. A couple of things before we get to the basketball. We've got plenty of time to set up the hockey. You got predictions for us? We'll take them. 888-623-3646. Hold on, Al. Hold on. I'll get to you. By the way, I'm trolling you, so when I come to you, just come on, everybody, take it down. The temperature needs to come down.
Carl Ravitch is on my screen. I'm sorry to do this. I'm obsessed.
Why are you obsessed with his hair?
It's the worst wig in the world.
Like, you don't even know that the dude wears a wig. You're just completely.
Patrick. What? There's no one's hair looks like
Bro,
that
but
years old.
Just as an adult, I need you can't just come on and make claims about another human wearing a wig if you don't know it to be true.
Okay, I'm going to say, based on my detective work, as someone who's going bald and pays attention to these things, based on what I can tell, that's true. Based on what I can tell, Carl Ravitch wears the worst wig in the business. And
Ravitch knows dog. What happens if Ravitch was listening to Dog earlier today, hopped in his whip, and like, who are these 2 dummies? And then he hears you just making a statement that he wears a hairpiece.
No, it's probably not the right thing for me to do. You're probably right about that, but I just saw it. It startled me, and I just had to say it. I just had to say it. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry, Carl, but I would accept you if you were bald.
It's can I reframe? It's your opinion that Ravitch may wear a hairpiece.
Yes, I believe that he may be wearing one.
Okay. Carl? Just want you to know, the guy Patrick has your back on the dumb program. All right, and you're a tremendous broadcaster.
Oh, I love him. Baseball Tonight was the best show of my childhood for me. It's my favorite
he's very good. Yeah, he's very good. I want to start this conversation with a Rick Carlisle. Can we stop anointing him as Larry Brown? First off, he's already been replaced by Larry Brown, and Larry Brown won a championship with the Pistons. So Larry Brown. You can Lenny Wilkins, whoever you want to throw in the mix, are so much better. And I know Wilkins never won a championship, and somebody like a Carlisle has. But can you have a little feel? There was a dude last night for the Pacers. His name's T.J. McConnell. He had 18 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 22 minutes of action. In the fourth quarter, when the Pacers were making a run to get back into this game, McConnell was balling. I don't know if Halliburton's lying because he stinks. We were wrong. We were prisoners of the moment. We said he's top 10. He's not top 50. I don't care if he's got a freaking calf strain. That guy stinks. All right. And I'm being a little bit overreactionary. I understand. But Halliburton's been a no-show. And if he did have an issue or he didn't have an issue, you have to have a little feel for your team and understand the unit you have in is coming back against this Oklahoma City team in Oklahoma City, and he pulls McConnell and puts Halliburton in, and what do? They go down the tube. That's exactly what happened last night. Now, were they going to beat Oklahoma City? Probably not. but you have to give, as the coach, your team the best chance to do so. And Carlisle did not.
Well, and they were cutting the lead, right? The deficit was dropping with McConnell on the floor. He was making everyone around him better. He was getting key shots, and Halliburton just was useless. I'm sorry. Look, we can be angry at Halliburton because he let us down. He was this close to joining that upper echelon. No, we have to drop him down maybe 2 tiers. There's too many no-shows. It's even worse than Anthony Edwards. What he did last night with his team in a big spot, with the series where it was, going back to Oklahoma City, you need your best player to take over games. He didn't score from the field. His only 4 points are from the free throw line. He had 3 turnovers, and he did nothing. He had no effect on the game in a positive way. That from Rick Carlisle, to go away from the guy who made the game interesting in the third quarter and put a guy back in who's compromised. Let's look back to Tom Thibodeau. Do we not remember Tom Thibodeau in that game where the Knicks made their comeback? Jalen Brunson was on the bench. What Brunson was trying to do wasn't working. And the second unit ended up getting them back in that game, and they ended up winning. Tom Thibodeau's fired today. I'm not saying Rick Carlisle should get fired.
No.
But I'm saying make adjustments in game.
He was a minus 13, Halliburton. And here's one thing I want to say. I'm so tired of he had an MRI today. He's going to play in game 6. I don't know if you have the results of the MRI. If you're on the court, you're not injured. So I don't want to hear any excuses. And as you mentioned, if you're on the court, you got a pulled calf or whatever, you still have to do better than 4 points, 0 of 6 from the field. You have to do more for your team. And 6 assists from the point.
Or be a leader. Or how about this? Be a leader. Be a leader and say, guys, me on the floor is hurting the team right now. I am an issue. I'm slowing down the offense, and I'm not able to be the player that we've built these plays and these actions for. Put TJ in, let him carry us here, because I'm not the player that you expect me to be in this moment.
The second best player in this series outside of Siakam has been TJ McConnell, and it's really not that close. He has been, and Toppin's a wasteful player too. He's like minus 16 last night.
He's empty calories. He's highlight reels. He's chucking threes. I've never find someone who loves you as much. Obi Toppin loves chucking up bad 3-pointers.
What's popping, Obi Toppin? Not a wig, by the way. But
Really?
Again, TJ McConnell, you're out there. Just have a feel for your squad. You're a coach that goes, 10 deep. So you've shown lineup versatility. You should know in a big moment when the team's making a comeback. Don't go back to Halliburton. Halliburton was completely lost in that game last night. Very frustrating. I mean, listen, it's an 11-point win for Oklahoma City. They do cover. There's a big-time Pacers show. So we wanted to see something a little bit more, but we didn't. And as we said after Game 4 on Friday night, the winner of that one, the series is a wrap. And I would be shocked. I think it's 6. It got bet up to 6 in Game 6 back in Indiana. Oklahoma City's laying it. Shocking if we see a Game 7.
Some shops opened 4.5 last night. I'm seeing DraftKings who opened 5.5, went to 5. Now they're up to 6.5. The only way Oklahoma City doesn't win the title on Thursday, it's because they want to do it at home in Oklahoma. That's the only, if they just go, you know what, we'd rather just do it in front of our home crowd. That's the only way this thing doesn't end on Thursday night.
And Jalen Williams, we're going to have a conversation about Jalen Williams coming up here on the program as far as the best 1-2 combo in basketball right now. Williams' breakout is real, and it's spectacular. 40 points last night and effective 40 points. I thought he was great in the game. 6 boards, 4 assists. He was just freaking awesome. Gilgeous-Alexander does what he does, 31 and 10. 10 dimes from Gilgeous-Alexander. Where was Halliburton? Halliburton exposed with the combination of SGA and Williams. And Siakam's doing everything he can, but Siakam's an A- to a B+ player. He's not an A player like Williams, SGA, and what we're supposed to get from Halliburton. Frustrating.
If Siakam's your top guy, you have a real ceiling. If Siakam's your number 2, I think you can win a championship. But you need someone to step up and be the number 1. And last night they didn't have someone who was the number 1, or at least wanted to step up outside of TJ McConnell, who was limited in the game minutes-wise.
You're 22 minutes from McConnell. You're watching McConnell. You're watching McConnell, and you're like, okay, he is right now the best player on the court. Leave him
On
in
the
there.
court.
Yeah. So let's give our next caller here, let's give him some props. You know, he stands up and says, I'm going to take it. Now, the series isn't over, but our buddy Alan White Plains said, we're sleeping on this Pacers team. And as it says on my call screen, Al did not say the Pacers were going to win the series, just said it was going to be competitive. And let's get to our buddy Alfred in White Plains. Hi, Al.
It is great to speak to both of you. And before we go any further, 20 years ago or thereabouts, when I first saw him on SportsCenter, that was my initial reaction.
Uh-oh. Oh,
This
no.
is
See,
big guy.
see,
Oh,
See.
no. Poor Carl.
20 years ago.
You can look back to how long when he first became an anchor, but I thought that instantly.
But that's coming from, and I've seen you out, that's coming from somebody with a beautiful full head of hair. So it feels a
True.
little judgmental. Feels a little judgmental.
I appreciate that at 67, I still got it, and it is real. I don't know how spectacular it is, but it is my hair.
Can I ask you what was Carlisle doing last night? McConnell was playing out of his mind.
I can't answer that with anything other than I went back to my guy. Especially if he was one thing if he's having a bad game, but if he's having an off game and he's compromised, and the other guy is really playing well, I can't explain it. Now, the lead did go from 10-2 after he went out. Do you realize that? They cut the lead another 8 points after he left the game, and Halliburton came in, and then it fell apart. So, it's not like it went. Yeah, he was there and he helped shave it, but it was 10 when he left, and I believe 2 when got it down to 2 before it exploded again. The beautiful Naya has absolutely got me covered, because we discussed this before you took my call, which I greatly appreciate. She said she agreed 100%. I never said they'd win the series. I said it would be a competitive series. It wouldn't be a short series, be a long series. And people are not realizing how good this team is. And in all probability, they let a championship slip through their fingers. It was right there, and they couldn't finish. They couldn't get the stops. They couldn't get the big buckets. Holmgren had a couple of big buckets. They had the 3, from SGA, and then he got away with the charge and the walk for the one that put him ahead. And that's been all she wrote. And they battled last night. They battled. They didn't crawl into a hole and die. They came back fighting, and I really thought at 2, I was like, is this going to happen again? But there's no magic from Halliburton right now. You see the difference. Even though this is a wonderful defensive team, he was still beating guys in the early games. No matter who was guarding him, he was beating man-to-man into the painted area and causing havoc. It doesn't look like he can do it right now. So, and yes, he's out on the court, so you got to play. It looks like they're in massive trouble. I agree. But it looked like Edmonton was in massive trouble last year, and they took it to a game 7. I don't think they're going to do that tonight, but one never knows. I'm hoping that we have more hockey, and I'm hoping that we have more basketball. And you are right about Connor McDavid. Young man, you're fabulous. You're the best thing on skates since, I don't want to say the great one, but in recent memory. You got to go out and put up 4 points tonight. 2 of them got to be G's. I need 2 goals, 2 assists in a 5-3 win. You must make a statement tonight. You're fabulous, but that puck's got to go. You have to impose your will on the game tonight. It's as simple as that.
Don't be cute. Thank you, Al. Good job. Just to be clear, we know you didn't say they were going to win the series, but and yes, I do know with Halliburton in there that they did cut it to 2. My point would be maybe they, by that point, take the lead with McConnell. That would be the difference. Is I thought McConnell was just, it was legitimately playing not good, great basketball.
Or you don't let it slip away in the fourth quarter. You don't lose all that momentum you had where you broke this thing down and you made it a competitive game again. McConnell has the potential to make that thing interesting. And now that's back-to-back fourth quarters where Indiana, the series fell apart. Because we go back to Friday in game 4, we were a fourth quarter away. They blew a 7-point lead. They scored 17 points in the final quarter. They were that close to being up 3-1. They're now down 3-2. and it feels like there is no life coming out
I
of
agree.
them. They
I
got
agree.
nothing left.
You know what else it is about McConnell? And we'll take a quick break, come back with your calls. You can tell the team starts to get a little rejuvenated. You can tell there's a vibe when he's out there, and they're like, all right, we're starting to believe here. That's what I felt with McConnell all series. 888 Mad Dog 6, 888 623 3646. We're a little over 30 minutes away from game 6 and Sunrise. And again, agree with what Al said. The McDavid stuff, enough. We're aware aesthetically and just literally how beautiful, as far as the game itself, how it's played by him. We get that. The great ones impose their will in a game like tonight. If you want to go Jordan, if you want to go Gretzky, if you want to go on Jeter, on and on and on. And a big spot, we need something out of McJesus tonight. All right? You're taking the Lord's name in vain, kid. I mean, Shorty didn't have to eat the apple. I understand. But she did kick this out on this side, and we got Ozempic. You know what I mean? It all started with her taking a bite of the apple. Everything just fell apart. 888-623-3646. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson. to VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson.
I just learned that I dodged a bullet tomorrow. Naya bailing on us. And tomorrow was about to get interesting. But your boy is back, as we say hi. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Remember, $158 right now. You can become a VSiN Pro. That means you get everything we offer. A daily email with all the picks. I mean, for $1.58, come on now. Exclusive betting splits plus our NFL betting guide. Go over to VSiN.com/subscribe. Use the promo code SIRIUS. You get the plays tonight on the hockey game for $1.58. Can't beat it. You have plenty of time. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code SIRIUS. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio. I'm Patrick Maher, Dustin Swedelson. We got the crew here. Somehow, Karl Ravech has become part of the conversation in the thread today, and he's taking shots. The big guy, all just literally out loud said that he wears a wig, which, again, I want to just say that's a legend. Nobody knows, including Dustin, that Karl Ravech wears or does not wear a wig. And by the way, none of my business.
No,
regardless.
It
seems to be an obsession.
It's right in your eyeballs. You can't avoid it. It feels pretty obvious. Again, I can't confirm 100%. It's just a lot of the clues I'm seeing would lead me to believe that is not his natural hair. And more importantly, I'm just saying, Karl, we would accept you. I accept you. Everyone would accept you if you were bald.
All right. Well, that's nice of you. But why'd you just send me search history of Karl Ravech, where the first things that come up are Karl Ravech hair, Karl Ravech toupee, Karl Ravech heart attack, Karl Ravech salary. So people are curious about Karl.
Yeah. Steve tweeted us at the Rap Radio, at Dustin Swedelson. When you type in Karl Ravech in the search your phone, these are the results from Google. So he said, you're not alone, Dustin. I'm not crazy in being startled at the fact it looked like there was a small rodent on the top of his head.
I know it just feels a little unsavory. I mean, we're just sitting here disparaging the guy. And again, but Karl, whether it's a freaking mop or it's legit, I don't care. That's the one that cares. The big one sitting there at the SiriusXM studios at the Win.
Look, get a better wig then. If I can tell that it's a toupee, then you should get a better one. It's like the makeup conversation with Lundqvist. If I can see the makeup, you're doing the makeup wrong. Make it a better wig, and I won't point these things out.
Hey,
it's not on me, it's on you.
Co-hosting with the male model here tonight. We're getting some tips, some makeup and hair tips.
But the hair looks good because you can't see the bald spot. But right now, front side looks great.
Texted you the other. See, this is the difference between you and I. I texted you the other day when you were hosting.
Cash, doing me dirty.
Yeah, well, I mean, hold on. I'm blind. Oh, no. The bald cam is in full effect at VSiN Live. Dustin Swedelson. I mean, that thing is shiny. Did you just get that shine before you walked into the studio? Oh, my gosh.
Karl, you can see it on YouTube, VSiN Live. Karl, if you're listening, get me in touch with your guy. If he could do the backside where I have the bald spot, maybe I need the hookup from Karl. Maybe that's subconsciously why I'm bringing it up.
I think it's because of my annoying sarcasm that people must perceive me to be the dick and you be the nice guy. But literally, the other day I texted you, your hair looks great when you were doing the show. I did. Mm-hmm. And all that happened today was instead of paying it forward by complimenting somebody, you said Ravech is wearing a piece. That is the difference.
Yeah, allegedly. I'm alleging he's wearing a piece. I don't know for certain, but I think you bring up a greater point. There are a lot of misconceptions about you and I that people assume about us, and it's usually the complete opposite, right? Like, people think you're mean to me. You're actually really nice to me. People think that you're the dick, but really I'm the dick. I just don't do it publicly, right? Behind the scenes, you're kind of like more understanding, and I'm meaner, but then on the air, I'm a little bit softer.
Yeah, but you're funny.
But I'm scared these people might need something from me down the road, so I'm not burning any bridges.
But if Dustin's funny on the air, much funnier off the air.
Oh yeah, no. If I could ever break through, and this is something we work on in therapy every week with Robin. If I could ever break through and be that person off the mic, on the mic, I think things would be great. I think people would hate me, but it would be great for my career.
Yeah, but it's funny. I'm entertained. Been entertained, as you said, for 10 years. It's great. All right, this show's gotten away from us, if we're completely being honest. We're now on hair pieces for ESPN anchors and the validity of our kindness. So let's shift back to the basketball and the hockey. The hockey's coming up in just a bit. We'll get to your calls now. The price is jumping on Florida. So if you're trying to bet it right now, you're going to get the worst of it. You should have bet it yesterday. The action coming in right now is all on Florida to close out the Stanley Cup final tonight in Sunrise and hoist Lord Stanley and start to build the dynasty because 2 in a row is on the way.
Oh, yeah, and they've been to another one in this run. And then for Canada, it's like, who are we turning to, Canada? Who will be your national hero that steps up as an organization and brings you back Lord Stanley's Cup? By the way, a little bit of buyback right now. In the last 20, 30 minutes, Florida from minus 170 down to minus 166. So perhaps some action coming the other way over at DraftKings on the Oilers, who are still plus 140.
Okay, girlfriend. And then we got the basketball. Look, as the big guy would say, look. Halburn stunk. And Carlisle, I know they cut it. Carlisle needs to keep – McConnell needed to play 30 minutes last night. As simple as that. Don't go back to your old substitution patterns in a must-win spot, which last night was a must-win spot. Because if you pull desperation out that ass in Indy tomorrow night and you close it up at 3-3, you think you're winning going back to Oklahoma City, the spread's going to be 9.5.
Oh, easy. And I'll lay alt lines at that point. Yeah, and I don't know how you recapture everything Indiana had, all the momentum. It feels like once that's gone and a team like the Thunder take it away from you and Jalen Williams gets going the way he has, I mean, a 40-point night. There's a bigger discussion we'll have about Jalen Williams, but he's 24 years old. We're just scratching the surface of what he could potentially be as SGA's running mate.
I'm just thinking about Carl Ravitch driving home. He's like, I got a good workout in today. Feeling good about my
World Series.
Feeling good about my family life. The health feels good. Boom, you turn on Mad Dog Sports Radio. People, including Alan White Plains, talking about the fact that I'm wearing a piece. And I thought I had them all fooled.
Well, that's the problem. See, this goes twofold. We had a friend who was balding one time, and he was like 28 years old.
Oh.
And someone said someone has to be the good friend and tell him it's time to shave it all off. Someone needs to be a friend to Carl Ravitch and be like, hey, man, we can see that's not your hair.
I hear you, brother. You see what I did there? I hear you, brother. Let's get to the calls. Uh-oh. Lee in Utah. Hi, Lee.
Guys, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I told your screener used to call back the last time you were on Mad Dog. I think the last time I called in was during that sports lull known as COVID.
Oh, yeah, we were having fun. Well, not fun during COVID, but you know what I'm saying. We were doing our best during COVID.
We were all improvising, right? I'm a musician, so it's like, we got to make some stuff here. But yes, I told Screener, I'm just so thrilled to hear you guys back on the air.
Thank you.
I rarely have money to gamble with, but when I do, I'm a tournament poker player.
Ooh.
So when you guys go deep into your betting stuff, I don't have any idea what you're talking about, but I still love listening to y'all and the energy.
Thank you.
And also told the screener I knew I had the opportunity to call in. Didn't know what I was going to talk about, and then Dustin went off on the hair. So this is like a virtual confessional booth for me. My big thing is bad comb overs. They just blow my mind when I see somebody, Dustin's talking about the obvious rug, and I'm like, bad comb overs. But then I have to remind myself, I spent $10,000 on failed hair transplant surgery that is functionally a bad comb over, and I now have a closet full of hats. So I have this guilt thing I kind of have.
There's no need to Lee. There's no need to. First off, great to hear from you again, and secondly, they've got it figured out now. So if you got a botched hair transplant back in the day, run it back. Run it back. You can get a good one. You're good to go in 6 months. People are doing it as radio bits all over the place. They've got it all figured out.
I've done the research here. Look, we look for people who are willing to do research and facts. I've done more research on this than I've done on the game tonight. You go to Turkey, it's $5,000. That includes the flight, that includes the hotel stay. You book it all through the doctor's office. They have it all as a set package. You get in, you get out, and every other dude on your flight will be another dude who went through the same thing you did with the patchy hair wearing the bandages.
I don't even know if you need to go to Turkey anymore. I think you could do it right here, and it's not even
cheaper.
that crazy.
The point is, it's probably over $10,000 here, where with the flight and everything, it's $5,000 in Turkey. But here's the one problem though with Turkey is you may get a great hair transplant. You also may have a kidney taken out of your body during it.
No politics. I just don't know if I'm flying that way these days.
That's probably good advice.
Yeah, I'll just put that out there and leave it be. You know what I'm saying?
Stay out. Stay out's a good motto.
Outside of hair transplants, we are talking basketball, and our buddy Mike in San Diego is going to help us with that. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Mike. What's going on?
Oh man, I gotta agree with Lee. It's always great having you guys on Mad Dog. I called in. It's been many years ago, but some of the best radio I ever heard was you telling that eclipse story years ago. I'm still laughing at it.
I don't even remember that, but thank you.
Karaoke.
Oh, total eclipse of the heart.
The girl with
That
the
chick was crazy. That's why I know that was the scariest thing ever, but very pretty. Thank you for that. That's a good one.
And I'm still upset you didn't see where that ended up going, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so huge Pacer fan, you know, and you know, Halliburton obviously did one of his disappearing acts last night. Not sure how much that leg is bothering him, but honestly, I think they should have subbed him in and played him alongside McConnell. It was Nembhard that just kept throwing the ball away at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those turnovers are just ridiculous. I know he plays the best defense against SGA, but you know, maybe you put Matherin on him and you blitz him with the second guy and try to get the ball out of his hands. I mean, that was probably the most disappointing, the way that Nembhard just kept turning the ball over. And I feel like it was happening in game 4 too, where he struggles with the simple pass sometimes.
He does. He's the ultimate. Hey, Mike, great to hear from you again. And good the total eclipse of the heart. That's wild,
dude.
That's a good old school listener right there, big guy. Nembhard is the ultimate feast or famine guy. You have to leave him out there for defense, but offensively, he'll drop 30 or he'll throw the ball away. Mike's right.
Yeah. I prefer him to be more of a spot up shooter than the facilitator, as we saw last night. It just didn't go well.
It was not great. Halliburton was. Now, do we have an MRI on Halliburton? Do we have anything as far as the calf?
Yeah, I believe they called it a strain. I don't know if that's the official word, but the last report I saw and heard was that it was officially a strain. Strained left calf. No, he still is undergoing the MRI. That's out as of 4 hours ago.
All right, Chris in Austin here at VSiN Live. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
Like your guys' show. I think it's fair to really think about Halliburton from a realistic standpoint. I mean, he's been hurt even at the beginning of the game, and it got progressively worse he had other injuries, and I blame the coach for playing him at all. I don't think he should have played. He's just simply, I guess he's scared to take Halliburton on when Halliburton says he wants to play. But he's not playing up to. He's injured, and for people to say he stinks
we're being a little rough, but you're right, Chris, and thank you. You got a little background noise. It's hard to hear you, but you're 100% right.
I'm an oscillating fan.
You're 100% right. The concept of the player empowerment makes you wonder if Carlisle is allowed to bench Halliburton.
Oh, that's a good call. Because
it's true. It is 100. These guys are so taken by the balls when it comes to that type of thing, man.
I mean, is there a chance that part of the reason Tom Thibodeau's not back in New York is because Jalen Brunson was benched at one point, and maybe
there is a chance
didn't like that, even though they won that game, they didn't like the message it sent that their best player was sitting on the sidelines?
There's always a chance, big guy. There's always a chance.
There's always a chance it's a toupee. There's always a chance it's not.
888-623-3646. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Your call's next. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson. On Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson.
Look, we got a game 6 coming up on the ice, and as the show is prone to do, we're now deep diving into Karl Ravage's alleged toupee. Now, I'm going to say a couple of things. One, this shouldn't be open fodder for the program, but Dustin brought it up in a very mean way. Goulet's in the mix now. And yes, I went through a deep dive of Ravage's wig during the break, and it appears that potentially he could be wearing a wig. God bless him. The problem with Carl Ravitch wearing a wig is that, hello, he didn't want people to think he's wearing a wig, and you came on the program and said he's wearing one. And if somebody is insecure enough to go get a wig, that means they're probably devastated by this conversation being had on national radio, and I feel freaking awful about it. I would never have started it.
But it's not on me. It's on him for having a bad wig. Get a better wig, learn how to use it better, and it won't be so obvious that you're wearing one. And then I don't get startled by it while we're returning from a break.
Right.
And I have to just point it out, because if I didn't say anything about it, I would have thought about his wig all night long.
Right.
That's how obvious it was.
Yeah, you're
Allegedly.
traumatized. You're traumatized by another man's hair. That's basically what you're now saying. You were pretending. Stuart Skinner. Between the pipes for Mike Somich tonight. Samo going to join us. We'll get back to some normalcy with some man talk and some hockey talk, and not talking about people's lettuce. Big guy breaking down makeup today with your boy Lundqvist, and also the hair. Why don't we break down Dustin's bets with Swade and Memphis? Hi, Swade.
Hey, what's going on, man? I listen to you guys every day, but I don't really call in like I used to. But I got a couple of things, man. Number one, Swedelson, man. I want to thank you for yesterday. I knew OKC was going to win, but I needed one other leg to go with my parlay, and that McConnell points, rebound, and assist, that was a three-pointer buzzer beater. So I paired that with the money line, OKC, and cashed in on that. Second thing I have to say is, brother, you got some explaining to do. I always thought you sounded like Jonah Hill, but then I tweeted you yesterday, and y'all look alike. Like, what's going on? What's going on with that? Like, how is that even possible?
Sway. Yeah, I appreciate it. What happened is Jonah Hill and I are actually the same person. We have the same DNA. He's just done way more with what he was born with than I have, unfortunately. So I've been called Jonah Hill ever since the movie Accepted came out, and he's standing out there in the hot dog suit asking people about his wiener. Ever since that came out, I've been compared to Jonah Hill.
Sweet.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And then the third thing I have, and I'll let you go. Did you know that on FanDuel you can bet on people playing 2K? Did you know that? I just ran across that.
Oh, you can watch the gaming go down and bet while they're gaming.
Yes, that's easy money. That's easy money.
Easy money.
Well, send me your picks then,
bro.
Send me your picks.
Hey, Swade, we're gonna follow you on Twitter. Give out your picks.
Tell you what I do. I'm gonna tell you what I do. I look for somebody to go up by 6, and then I just money line it, and I just slow roll it. I wait for somebody to go up by 6 or 7, and in that game, everybody starts shooting threes and they miss. If somebody goes up by anywhere from 6 to 8 points, they win. That's easy money, bro.
Swade, thank you. Samich just tweeted us that he's bet those games before as well. That is called therapy. Swade, Samich, the big guy. Here's the problem with today's program.
Yeah.
Dustin just got a compliment. And you saw me falling over laughing because you don't understand how much it fills his cup. You know, when you're in a relationship and you talk about filling each other's cup, when somebody Dustin's love language is somebody complimenting him. The problem with that is tomorrow he's going to be gone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's legitimately going to go home to his girlfriend tonight and be like, I don't know if I can leave. I got a compliment tonight. I got to show up tomorrow.
Yeah, look, I got to give the people what they want. And, you know, Swade's compliment actually counts double because, you know, for me, when a brother likes me, it counts more. I just want to be
little street cred. And by the way, how do you know he's a brother?
I just want it because I just looked him up on Twitter and the sound of his voice. But yeah,
okay.
It's kind of like the wig thing with Carl Ravitch. Sometimes you can just tell. Sometimes you can just tell.
Samich, me and Samich know why that was not great, but he just keeps talking. He sounds like it. It's 2025, brother. We gotta go. We gotta progress. Like even Ryan just texted. Sounds like it. What are we talking about? You're legitimately a child. But did get a compliment, and it's tough time to leave. Tough time to leave on a high note.
Yeah, but also I enjoyed the compliment because when I saw he wanted to talk about my bets, I was ready for a fight. I was ready for a fight because you just never know how that's going to go. Because if we're being fair, most of the bets haven't been going well lately.
I hear you, brother. And the last time we got a fight, we had the lost show. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan, will you tell Patrick I didn't delete that one show that didn't make it to YouTube? I don't have access to it. It was still on the Sirius XM app.
I like how Ryan got blamed for it. The big guy, the meltdown with the caller. And then now we've come full circle. Big time compliments from a caller. So it's a big day for you. You took apart Carl Ravitch's soul. You made fun of the makeup Lundqvist is using on TNT, and you got a compliment for a bet. That is an action-packed hour for you. Now, the Jonah Hill thing is I don't know what we're supposed to take from that. Is that a compliment or not?
I think it used to be a compliment, but now Jonah Hill's gotten weird because he's gotten super skinny, and now he likes to tell everyone how he's so self-evolved that I think he's super unlikable. But Jonah Hill, 2006 through, 2018, it was a big compliment. That was money.
Jonah Hill's gotten unlikable, says the guy. I like it when brothers compliment me. I could tell by the sound of your voice. Again, I'm repeating it. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me.
I'm just being me. Jonah Hill's trying to be someone else. That's the problem.
Apparently, Swade, Jonah Hill's trying to be Dustin Swedelson.
He wishes on his best day. Swade would like him.
A little confident.
Swade likes me.
A little confidence. We're still 22 minutes away from Game 6. Samich has got plays. All right, so Swade, pay attention. The rest of you that want to bet hockey tonight, pay attention. The big guy, he's been on a heater, cashing out last night. I did go to turn on cashing out, and there was still a picture of Joe Cerullo on the TV. So, Dustin, I noticed that you weren't Joe Cerullo when I actually saw you pop up on the screen. And pop up you did with that loud blazer, my friend. Looking very sharp. Mike Samich joins us next. Dustin's going to decompress. It's VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Covering the spread all night long. This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. covering the spread all night long. This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson.
Like a ship in rough waters, all hands on deck. And what I mean by that is Dustin feels cornered because there's a good chance he gets fired tonight over the next 2 hours. But because he's been called out during the break, he's going to go harder because now his pride's in play. He said a lot of dubious things. I would just say buckle up for the next 2 hours. We welcome you back. VSiN Live. Look, he's fuming right now. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio. We got a big program, people. And Samich is joining us, professional bettor, VSiN host, good guy, part of the family. Mike Samich, hockey bettor as well. We're going to get your plays. You happen to be paying attention to the program before we introduced you. Swade called. We'll leave what the big guy said alone. And you bet EA Sports as well?
Oh, yeah. So there are certain places you can get in live on these games, and there was about a 1.5-year stretch where a buddy of mine and I, so the same people play on the same days every week, so you can track their record against each other and specifically what teams they play well with on NBA 2K as well. So you can actually create trends around who they're playing, and the lines are set just based on the ability of the two people, not based on the ability of the teams they're playing with as well. So you were able to specifically target when Gamer A was playing with Team B, you knew they were going to play well or play poorly. And so we got pretty deep into the live NBA 2K market there for a minute.
Leave it to Samich to create a model of gamers.
And he probably found an angle that no one knew to bet in the market that him and his friends just bet over and over until the book realized they shouldn't put it up, and then they had to pull it off the board.
Yeah, that's what he just said. He was following the gamers. He's got a model on these nerds. That's Mike Samich for you. Samo, ton to do and ton to unpack. We got up to 170. Did they buy it back? 170 at DraftKings on Florida. It's a public book, so not a surprise that they were heavily betting the favorite. Before we get into your overall feelings, just the game itself, where does it become too expensive on Florida? And then also let's talk about the total, which I see a couple of books dropping down to 6.
Yeah, I thought 160 was too expensive on Florida, to be honest with you. Heading into this series, I thought this was basically a 120 home plus 100 road series, no matter who was at home or road, because I did think these two teams were fairly matched. We saw minus 110 on both sides in the series. Edmonton got bet out to a minus 120 favorite before it started. I realize why we are where we are, right? We saw Florida play very well on the road. They dominated game 4 at home as well. It's gone a little too far. If I was going to bet a side right now, I would bet Edmonton. And if I was going to bet Edmonton, I'd lay the 1.5. I would rather go for the opposite puck line and take a monster plus money price, because I do think there is a lot of variance involved in these games. If it is a 1-goal game late, you're going to see a pulled goalie with 3-4 minutes. If that's the case, I think you're more likely to see a 2-goal game here. Yes, 3 of them have gone to the 2 overtime so far in this series. But if you do have that 1-goal game, you're going to get the opportunity to be able to cover the 1.5. So if I was going to take anything here, it'd be Edmonton minus 1.5 at a monster plus money price. Did not bet it myself, just to make sure I'm clear on that. I don't have a pick on the side. But if I was going to, I would take variance, and I would take the team that's a dog, and I think a bit too big of a price than what the market's currently giving you.
Yeah, Samich, it does feel like either way we're going to have a pulled goalie, right? Florida, if they're somehow trailing, they want to finish this thing tonight, they'll pull their goalie. Edmonton, season on the line, they have to pull their goalie. But give me the script. What's the formula? How does Edmonton get us to a game 7 with a win tonight?
First 10 minutes. That's the most important thing for Edmonton here. They have to try and play with a lead for basically the first time in this series. That's been their biggest issue the entire series. I think they've had the lead for a total of 34 minutes in this series so far. The Panthers have been leading for over 2 hours worth of NHL time now. They cannot get behind, because when they get behind, you can see them starting to get irritated. You see Florida starting to get under their skin, hitting them after the whistle, pushing them on the way to the bench. And all of a sudden, Edmonton takes a bad penalty. They fall down 2, and then they're just kind of scrambling. They need to be a little bit more composed. They need to be a little bit tighter on the defensive side, specifically in their own zone, moving the puck out of their zone with speed, and they have to play well the first 10 minutes. It's important that Edmonton gets out well here if they want to win this game.
So and we'll get to your props, but we've had 5 straight overs in this series. We've had 5 straight overs in the first period. And just like Samich, he says, okay, I see that trend. I'm going to go the other way. First period under 1.5 goals tonight.
Yeah, I like the first period under quite a bit in this spot. I would take the full game under, except I'm a little scared of the chaos that we saw in the third period in game 5. It was 2-0 heading into the third. They got over 6.5 for the game. We saw an empty net goal. We saw a pulled goalie goal. I am a little afraid that, especially if this game's out of hand late, you're going to see a lot of empty net time. You're going to see these teams continue to push. So the under for the game, not one that I want to try and get in on, but I do like the under for the first period here. We have our first elimination game in the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. If you go back and you look last year, game 6, game 7, those two games were played very differently. 1-0 in game 6 in the first period, 0-0 in game 7 in the first period last year. I think we're going to see that trend again. We saw specifically when Edmonton's back was against the wall, taking on the Dallas Stars, an adjustment in their defensive philosophy. That was a 3-0 Edmonton win. I think we see a much tighter defensive style hockey game tonight. And I think that's part of Edmonton coming out and playing well in the first 10 minutes, is that they make sure they play well defensively. They play in structure. They don't give up silly opportunities for Florida. I'd also look back to last game as well. We only saw 40 shots on goal last game. That was down significantly from the previous 4. It wasn't the same up and down movement that we saw. I think you're going to see, especially with the cup in the building, a much tighter defensive battle early in this game. So give me the under first period, plus 115 right now out there in the market.
Let's talk a little strategy, because you gave out Sam Bennett, Conn Smythe 30-1 on the show. And rightfully so, he's the favorite. He's minus 120 right now, so you have to lay a price. He's the odds-on favorite. And you're in a situation now where you have a ticket that can cash for a lot of money. How are you approaching that market now with game 6 in front of us, and there's a bunch of other options? How would you play that market at this point?
Oh, that's a good question, Dustin. So I took a little bit of Connor McDavid at not a great number, plus 105. I took a little bit more at plus 350. I took a little bit of Draisaitl at plus 350. And all of these are small bets for me. I don't like to hedge a big number, right? So when I have a big win on the line here with Sam Bennett, I'm just hedging out the cost of the tickets that I have bet. I'm not looking to make profit off of these other guys. I want the big score, and I'd like to make sure I have an opportunity to win. I did not take any Brad Marchand. I don't see this Brad Marchand storyline. I realize he's got 2 monster goals in this series. He's had a very good Stanley Cup Finals. Sam Bennett has been as important, if not more important, throughout the entire playoffs. And this is an entire playoff award. He scored 15 goals. He scored 13 of those on the road, which has been a huge part of Florida's success. 10 of their 15 wins so far in the Stanley Cup playoffs has been on the road. And he has been the instigator from an emotional perspective for this Florida team this entire series. It's him getting under the skin of Edmonton. It's him hitting people late. It's him going after and getting in front of the net and hitting the goalie. To me, he has been a much bigger storyline on top of just scoring goals, but a bigger storyline throughout this specific playoff series as to why Florida's on top. So I only have exposure to Bennett on the Florida side. I've got a little bit of Draisaitl. I've got a little bit of McDavid as well. If you like Florida tonight, I'd almost rather play Bennett at minus 120 than Florida at minus 170, because I do think that he's the most likely winner if they win tonight.
Did you want to squeeze in one more prop before we drop the puck here?
Yeah, I like Ekblad over 1.5 shots minus 130 and over 2.5 plus 220. The big switch for Ekblad is that he has been put on the first power play unit for a significant amount of time. Because of that, if you look at this series, he's taken at least 3 shots at the net every single game. That was just one game. The other 4, he has taken 5, 6, 6, and 7 shots at the net. He's recorded 2 or more shots on goal in 3 of the 5 games so far. I think he's firing the puck. We saw him attempt 6 shots on goal last game. I expect that to continue for Ekblad, specifically with that power play time. And if this gets wonky late, you're going to see Edmonton take some penalties. So give me Ekblad over 1.5 shots at minus 130 and over 2.5 at plus 220.
Yeah, I'm curious if you thought about Bobrovsky at all at 100 to 1. Because I do agree. I don't think Marchand's the guy you'd be worried about. For some reason, I feel like they would try and give Bobrovsky all this credit for the Conn Smythe. But your point's perfect on Bennett. It's a whole playoff award. He's got 22 points during the playoff run, and he's got 15 goals in like 20 games, I want to say, something like that, 19 games. So it's been an incredible run. If it's someone other than Marchand, would you be concerned about Bobrovsky at all?
See, here's the problem. I'm not sure how it would be based on what we have here. Right. If this were game 6 and Florida was on the ropes and he shut out Edmonton in game 6 and gave up 1 goal or shut him out in game 7, then I would be much more worried about what Bobrovsky could do. The reason I'd like taking Bennett before the series is I didn't think this was going to be a low scoring series. We talked about playing the overs consistently early in this series. I played the over in game 1 through 5. Like I expected goals. That makes it hard for someone like Bobrovsky to be able to win it, even though he's been phenomenal in this series. Like Florida, their goaltender, probably one of the biggest differences right now between them and Edmonton. but I still think Sam Bennett's outplayed him. And even with a shutout tonight, I don't think that gets it done for Bobrovsky. And his problem is he's only got one more game to win, right? If he had, let's say, a shutout earlier in this series, or he absolutely stood on his head and stole a game 2-1, I think that makes sense. But with these 5-4 type finals that we've seen, it's hard to really make the case that he's been the reason they've won this series. Whereas Sam Bennett, you look over, he's got 5 goals in the 5 games. He's got 4 of those on the road. Like, to me, there are a lot of reasons to point to him. So if it's Florida, based on what I've seen, I think this is Bennett's award to win. So I wouldn't take a shot at a big price on Florida. If you want to take a shot at a price, I think McDavid, I think Draisaitl both make sense. They are probably the 2 only winners possible on the Edmonton side.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up McDavid because we started the program with this, and it's almost like you have to whisper it because you don't want to offend Canada. Tonight, he needs goals, he needs assists, and frankly, he needs to start getting rid of this reputation that he might be soft. We know he's generational. We know he's the most talented person. We can watch it with our eyeballs and see what's happening. He was a no-show at home in Game 5. This is a Jordan spot. This is a Gretzky spot. McDavid needs to do something tonight, something big.
Yeah, legacy-wise, he needs a special game because you're mentioning Game 5. Let's talk about Game 6 and Game 7 last year, where he was held off the point sheet in both of those spots. In Game 7, obviously, Stanley Cup deciding game last year. So he needs to have one of those big games and big spots on the road here in Florida. This would do a lot for his reputation if he can, I don't know, go out and get 2 and add another assist, and they win this game 4-1, somewhere in that range. So yeah, you need something from McDavid. It's tough sledding out there for him right now, though. Florida is 100% focused on stopping him. Edmonton doesn't want to put him and Draisaitl on the same line 5-on-5 for good reason. Then you're just focused on that one line. You don't have the depth down the lineup. This is the problem with hockey, Patrick. You can be generational. You still need the second, third, fourth guy. You talk about all the cups Gretzky won. That was with Messier. That was with Coffey. That was with Fuhrer. You look at the cups that Lemieux won. Yager was there. You look at the cups that Crosby won. Malkin was the number 2 center. You've got to have depth down the lineup because it's impossible for one guy in the NHL to deliver game in and game out like it is in the NBA, like it can be in baseball, right? You need to have depth up and down the lineup. Now, I'm not saying McDavid doesn't need to play better, but this is the difficult part about hockey is you have to have a team effort.
Yeah, on the depth thing, because you watch a lot more hockey than me. I've only gotten into it during the postseason here and really the last few rounds. And the thing that jumps out to me about Florida, and I'm curious how sustainable this is for years to come, is the depth that you just mentioned. They have so many guys who can beat you so many different ways, both offensively and defensively, super aggressive. And I'm curious where you would put them in teams you've seen in your lifetime, because I remember like the deepest teams growing up, Patrick's Red Wings, the Avalanche made a run where they were just absolutely loaded for years. Where do you put this Panther squad, and is this roster something that we're going to have to deal with for a few years?
That's a good question too. I mean, this is the Avs and those Wings, the teams were just unbelievable when I was growing up. I mean, they were just absurd from top to bottom, and the Russian talent that the Wings had, so they were able to build this team around American and Canadian talent, but then do so well bringing Russians in from the KHL and be able to build that team up. The Avs kind of had a cheat code there where they were able to get Bork at one point, adding it to Forsberg and Sakic. I don't think this team is as deep as those teams were, right? And I think that there was also a larger talent gap back then. The top tier talent in the NHL was significantly better than third and fourth liners than what you see today. I think you just have a better product today on the third and fourth line than what you had back then. But this generation, if you look at what this Florida team has done, this is their 3rd straight Stanley Cup final. They probably would have won 3 years ago had they not gotten injured. They won last year. I think they're going to win this year. 3 straight cups in this era would be just absolutely just mind-blowing, right? With the way that we have the salary cap set up, and they're going to have some tough choices. Sam Bennett's an unrestricted free agent this summer. He's going to be very expensive. They're already paying Barkov a ton of money. They're already paying Ekblad a ton of money. They're already paying Reinhart a ton of money. Like, they're getting guys to step up at the right time in the playoffs, but that also chips away at what you have available in the salary cap. And you have to love what they've done in the regular season during the trade deadline as well. Go out, get Tarasenko last year. He was part of that cup run. Get Marchand this year. Probably wouldn't be here if they didn't have Marchand at this point as well. So you got to give a hat tip to the front office with how they've been able to maneuver the pieces and spend their money wisely.
Fedorov, Konstantinov, Larionov, just to name a few. Kenny Holland was doing dirt back then. going. And don't even, obviously, Lidstrom, who's arguably the greatest defenseman of all time. Don't at me. Mike Somich joining us here on the program. We are yet to drop the puck in Sunrise or Sunshine, Florida, whatever the hell they call that.
Sunrise.
Yeah. So we're still minutes away if you want to go and bet on this one. Lord Stanley is in the house as we have the anthems coming up right now. Now, any of these baseball games pressing? Because we can do those if you'd like before we get to the basketball.
Both first pitches at 7, so it's up to you, Patrick.
Okay, yeah, let's just hold off on it for a second. The game was won in the fourth quarter on Friday, NBA, where third quarter, you're watching the Pacers, you're like, holy crap, I think they might have a chance to win the NBA title. And then Oklahoma City, SGA, in the fourth quarter in Indy on Friday said, oh, this has been so much fun. You guys are a cute team. Here you go. Here's an L by 7. And then last night, we were killing Carlisle for pulling out McConnell. I thought McConnell was like everything for them last night. And Halliburton obviously banged up. Where you at on the series?
It's going to be tough. I mean, I wish I could come on here and make a case for the Pacers with everything that's going on with Halliburton now having an MRI for that hamstring, re-aggravating after the Game 2 injury. I like OKC. I have OKC minus a game and a half. We talked about that last Tuesday, sitting at that minus 150. So love to get that home if we can win Game 6 here. I hat tip to Indiana for everything they've been able to do. They're just not as good as Oklahoma City. And the thing is like Jalen Williams, who came into Game 5, I thought looking scared offensively. And in Game 5, he looked the opposite of scared. He looked like he was just ready to dominate. Now we got to go on the road. You got to prove it to me you can do it on the road still. But when he's playing like that, when he's the best player on the floor for Oklahoma City, good night. There's nothing the Pacers can do if he's the best player on the floor. And I thought Chet actually played better there in Game 5 as well. And then you get the role player contributions from Wallace. And just like, if all of that is rolling, this Thunder team's not going to get beat. Now, it hasn't been rolling on the road. That is the one thing that you can look at here if you're a Pacers fan and say, hey, we got to try and steal Game 6 at home. And it's a Game 7, anything can happen. I don't think they pull it off. I think Oklahoma City closes this out in 6. I do like McConnell points prop over. I think that he is one of the main beneficiaries. If we're talking about this Halliburton injury, he ends up with the ball in his hand a lot more. So if Halliburton at any point isn't able to go, if he's not going to play his regular minutes, TJ McConnell is the one who mainly benefits from it. He's at 10.5 points right now. I played that to the over. And the other thing I took a shot at here, and this is an interesting market over at DraftKings, it's points in the first 3 minutes. And so you've got a market for who will score and how many points will they score in the first 3 minutes. Pascal Siakam's sitting at 2 plus minus 130. How is he not the one taking the first shots for Indiana here? Like, it makes no sense that he's not the focal point of the Pacers coming out, especially with Halliburton injured. So I'll take Siakam 2 plus points in the first 3 minutes, minus 130.
Yeah, the Siakam bet is crazy. I feel like that's going to close minus 210 tomorrow. Like minus 130, that doesn't compute when you think about the scoring one they're getting from him, but the need without Halliburton being 100%. And you're right about McConnell. That point prop, I think, was 10 or 9.5 yesterday. So how are we at the same number we were a day ago? The spread's on the move from last night when it opened, Mike, for Thursday's Game 6. It opened at a couple shops 4.5, most around 5.5. We're now up to 6.5. The total's 222.5. And I want to ask you about the total. If I'm like you, I think the Thunder win this thing. And maybe 6.5 might be a little bit too rich to lay on the road in this spot. If they win, doesn't it feel like this game is going way under the 222.5?
I think so. I mean, look, playing the under is another way to hedge against Halliburton playing, right? Because he's the fastest player in the NBA off a miss or a make getting across the timeline, right? So he gets the ball into the half court, sets the offense up quickly. I thought there were a lot of hit 3-pointers in the third and fourth quarter that kind of pushed that Game 5 over the total there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an under, but we are seeing a degraded number here. So I would wait if you like the under, because the under in Game 5 was sitting around 223.5, 224 the day before the game. We saw over money come in the day of the game. That pushed it up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see over money come in at the 222 number, and this thing ends up closing at 224, 223.5. So I would wait till game time if I wanted to play the under. If you like OKC and you don't want to lay it, kind of like the OKC team total. With the depressed total, I think looking at OKC's team total makes a little bit of sense to the over if you want to take them, but you don't want to lay the 6.5.
We are underway. Stanley Cup Final Game 6. Oilers at the Panthers in Sunrise. We shall see if the Oilers can show something. Let them hang all over the ice, McDavid. I mean, come on, brother. We need something from you. Pasty ass Peyton Manning looking. Dustin said,
Connor McManning.
Can you compare his career to somebody like a Peyton Manning before he got his Super Bowl? They look alike. We need something from him tonight. We'll see if we can get it going early here. Mike Somich joining us on the program, part of the family. Baseball. So yesterday, Dustin said MLB TV had their highest rating in history with Ohtani pitching on the bump for the Dodgers against the Padres. Just gave him one inning, did hit 100 miles an hour on the gun. We joked, I mean, you could easily just start off the program today. Ohtani hit 100 miles an hour on the gun. Greatest athlete of all time. Open up the calls because, I mean, it is insane. That's a long way of just setting up baseball for you right now. On June 17, what are you looking at and what are you betting in the sport?
Well, first off, can I just say, why doesn't Ohtani just close games or come out of the bullpen for the Dodgers?
Dude,
like,
I agree.
Like, what are we doing?
Oh, here's why, Mike. I agree with you. Like, give him 2 innings, 3 innings at the end of games, but because he has to hit, he has to go warm up in the bullpen. You know what I mean? In the middle of a game. I think that's the problem.
Well, but he's a DH, and you send him out there, right? And you make your pick. Yeah, you're right.
True.
The bullpen issue, that is the problem. I mean, this is Major League Baseball. I'm sure he can go down in the dugout and throw somewhere downstairs if he needs to, though. There are ways to get around that. And I get it. The Dodgers staff is completely banged up. That's really the reason why he's starting games right now. But once they get their starters back, make him the closer. Make him an 8th inning guy, a 7th inning guy. Come out there, throw 100, get out of there. Don't overuse the arm. Make sure he's able to continue to hit. So I would love to see Ohtani in the bullpen if I'm long-term a Dodgers fan. We'll see what ends up progressing there because I do think they've got a good enough rotation to stick him back there. Bets for tonight. Got a couple of them. First off, let's look at the Astros and the Athletics. You got J.P. Sears on the hill for the Athletics. I'm going to look at him getting beat up here. We're there. It's in Sacramento. Beautiful day up in Sacramento. Great hitting weather today. If the air is thin, the weather is hot, balls are going to be flying out there. Altuve specifically has crushed Sears in his career. So he's got 2 homers off of him in 20-plus at-bats, hitting over 300. He's hitting in the middle of the lineup. He's hitting 3 today. Let's go 4+ hits, runs, and RBIs for Jose Altuve. You can get that at a plus 180 price. So nice price on that one. And then let's look a little deeper down the lineup. I do think this is the game's total at 11. So they're expecting runs. The Astros team total sitting at 6.5. Let's look at the 7-hitter or the 6-hitter here, Myers, who is, I think, going to be in a very good spot to be able to get an RBI. You can get him at plus 155 to get an RBI. He's sitting behind Altuve, Diaz, and Walker, so it's likely he'll get at least 1, if not 2 opportunities with base runners on against an A's bad bullpen and J.P. Sears, who's not great at home. So let's take Myers plus 155 for an RBI, and let's take Altuve over 4 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 180. And then the late game. Don't love me Vasquez here for the Padres. So I want to get some exposure to the Dodgers lineup here. Not exactly jazzed up on the Dodgers pitcher Dyer either, who's been a late insert in here. He wasn't the original scheduled starter. So I want to look at the offensive side here. Toscar Hernandez plus 155 to get an RBI tonight. He's hitting in the 5-hole tonight for the Dodgers. So again, another good spot to be able to pick up RBIs. Vasquez struggled on the season, even though he did have a couple good starts of recently. So we'll go with Hernandez there, plus 155 to get an RBI for the Dodgers.
Mike, a year ago at this time, we had counted out my New York Mets. We didn't think they were playoff bound. And we need to find a baseball team for the show. We did it in all the other sports. We have to find a team that we're going to bet together as a family. Maybe it's not today, but perhaps we can find some value, right, on the World Series odds. Is there a team that you think is being counted out a little bit too early that might be worth betting right now?
I can tell you one I have that you could get at a much better number now. I have 25 and 35 to 1 on the Braves, which is a team that I don't understand how they're not playing any better than they currently are. Like, and if they can get into the postseason, I think they are live. They have the opportunity to be able to be successful. But at this point, I can't really say you should back them sitting at 31 and 39 after that recent losing streak when they got back Acuna Jr. So I'm sitting on a Braves ticket that I don't love. I would happily sell it if anyone would like to purchase a Braves ticket.
Hey, Mike, I bet them 3 weeks ago 5-1 to win the division. I can get 30-1 right now.
Yeah, doesn't mean you should bet more, Dustin. Doesn't mean you should bet more.
I agree. Learn that lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
By the way, that pitching matchup tonight, with the Dodgers and the Friars. That total set at 10. And I always just like for fun looking at those A's totals. That's they're just setting them at 11 now.
Well,
up in
Sears
Sacramento.
stinks. You know, Mike, have you noticed? I only noticed because I happen to monitor Severino on the road and Jeffrey Springs on the road. These pitchers for the A's are actually good. It's just they're being a disservice pitching in that ballpark. If you look at the splits, the A's are actually worth backing when they're the away team and some of these guys are going. Now, JP Sears is having an awful year regardless, but a few of the guys in the rotation, they give him a chance to win.
Yeah, it's funny if you look at Sears' numbers and some of the splits. I mean, at home he's got a 6 ERA. On the road he's got a 4.62. It's more drastic with Severino and with I can't remember his name now. It's more drastic with the other piece in Springs. Yeah, the other pitching parts of the pitching staff. Sears specifically at night, and this to me is mind blowing. His day ERA is 2.63. His night ERA is 7.51. So you have some of these wild splits that you're seeing with the day-night splits, with the home-road splits for these A's pitchers. I do think that's relevant because, like, when this A's team goes to Seattle, that's when I think you can take a shot with the A's if they have one of their better pitchers on the mound. That's when you can look at this team as an under team because their numbers are going to be inflated coming from playing in Sacramento. So I do think there's a couple angles to look at this A's team when they're on the road. When they're at home, I'm going to fade them the majority of the time. I'm going to be looking at hits, runs, RBIs, and RBIs for the opposing batters, team total overs for the road team, because, look, no one's been successful pitching up there unless you're an absolute stud, and they don't have an absolute stud.
The Samich with the baseball. I don't understand. Oh, goal! Florida on the board first.
It's over.
Does Skinner, is he able to move his arms? Because every goal just literally goes over his elbow on either side. Does he have
he's under attack a lot, though. Can we be fair?
He is, but let's see
well,
if this is cheap.
He should know.
I mean, that was their first shot on goal.
Reinhardt, he's got to do a little. I mean, what does he do? He's got who's the dude that just got traded to the Orlando Magic?
Desmond Bain.
He's got the Desmond Bain arms.
Tyrannosaurus Rex arms.
Like, dude, put up your blocker. Put up the mitt, brother. 1-0 Florida leads. So
bro, look, he makes it harder than it needs to be. Your one job, just get in the way of the puck. Just get in the way of the puck, man.
I don't know much, Mike Samich, but I do know that the Oilers will have a different goaltender next year.
You would think so. I mean, they went through this last year, and they still ended up with Skinner.
I know, but you can't do it again. You know what the irony is? You guys know that Skinner is from Edmonton, so he grew up a huge Oilers fan. Like, he's not going to be allowed back in his own province or whatever the hell Canadians call areas.
Mike could probably speak to this better than me, but I saw the stats floating around. He's actually great late in series. Like games 4 through 7, he's an elite goalie. The problem is games 1 through 3, he's not.
Well, yes. I mean, he had like I think it's funny. His like 4-0 record. He was 5-0 with like a 1 point something goals against average. And the meme after it, well, he's still 5-0 because he got pulled and they ended up winning the game later after losing game 4 this year. He's had moments, but the problem is like they're just not consistent enough. In the NHL, specifically in playoffs, you can be amazing for 58 minutes. If you suck for 2, if you give in a soft goal, that's the game. That's the series. And so you can't have these mental lapses, these mental issues. It's why you look at guys, like Hellebuck up in Edmonton, where it's like, well, what the heck just happened there? Like, he's been so good all regular season, and then all of a sudden he's letting in softies left, right, and center. It's the bad goals from Skinner that you get every now and then that to me are the biggest issue. It's not even that when he's getting peppered, look, goalies are going to give up goals. You're going to get beat. It's the soft goals that Skinner gives up that bother me.
Yeah, he did. He just had a nice save, actually. But 1-0, 14:35 to play. The Panthers on the board early.
We gotta get new. If the Panthers win, we gotta go back to the old logo, change the sweaters. I don't like the look for this team. I just don't like it. I know I did makeup earlier. We're going to go to fashion next. And I think the Florida Panthers need to improve the sweater. It's not a good look. It's not a good logo. It's kind of boring and generic. It looks like they went to ChatGPT and they said, give us what the Florida Panthers hockey team logo should be if it was a boring soccer team. And that's
You nailed it. It looks like a soccer team. That's what it looks like. It looks like an MLS logo. Like, it's just like, meh.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cute little cat you got on there in a nice little shield. But like, come on.
It's
Like, what are we doing here?
It's like when people say Washington Commanders, I expect them to be in the what is that league, Dustin? USFL?
The UFL.
UFL is like the Commanders? Get the hell out of here, kid. I'm trying to think. You're a Blues fan, so you had Curtis Joseph growing up, Cujo.
Yeah, before you stole him. I mean, we had Joseph first, we had Hall first, we had Shanahan first, and you guys just kept taking our players. You're like the Pittsburgh Pirates to your New York Yankees.
I guess you even had a few good years of Grant Fuhr.
Well, a couple, yes. Capped off by him getting injured in the playoffs and Steve Yzerman scoring from the blue line in double overtime. We had Wayne Gretzky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But more importantly, with the Hartford Whalers gone, you rooted for the team in the St. Louis Blues that I think has the best logo in hockey. Is there a better logo in hockey than the Blues logo?
The winged wheel. Ever heard
I mean,
of it?
the thing is, people are very passionate about their hockey logos. People love the Detroit logo. People love the St. Louis logo, the Blackhawks logo, the Rangers logo.
I like the Devils.
Here's the thing. Hockey logos, people always talk about the best playoffs, easily the Stanley Cup. The best sweaters, jerseys, whatever you want to call them, best logos, easily the NHL. Easily. It's not even close.
Not even close.
I was going to save this for closing tab, so we can do it with Mike real quick. So Patrick used to tell me that when he would get amped up sometimes, he would sit in his car and he would watch, I believe, Arrowgate at the Dubai Classic.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I like to watch like sports entrances, and last night in the finals, they televised the players being announced. So on my way here, I was in a weird mood where I was like, I want something to fire me up. And I didn't go with Mariano and Enter Sandman. I didn't go with like Wisconsin Jump Around. To me, I believe the best entrance in all of sports is Chief Osceola on Renegade, Florida State doing the war chant down in Tallahassee. That to me is the best entrance in sports. If I was going to put you up against this, you have to come up with your best entrance in sports. What would you roll with?
This is easy. Chicago Bulls starting lineup when Jordan was in it. I mean, that's the one, right? And now the starting lineup for your Chicago Bulls. I mean, that was iconic in my childhood. You got Jordan going there, bump, 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 bump. How could you not love that?
Yeah.
A
6'6" guard.
Mine's South Carolina football. It's a little biased, but they go from 2001 Space Odyssey into Sandstorm.
That's pretty good.
I like that. There's a little creativity there. It's unique. It's different. But when I think of Jump Around, I don't think of Wisconsin. I'm sorry. That's such a random one for them to do. Also from the 90s, a song from the 90s. That's your tradition. Go deeper.
I got to bash my own team real quick. You know what the St. Louis Blues one was for a long time?
Wait,
you know the song, "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In"?
Wait,
they when the Blues go marching in. They just played that every single time they came out on the ice.
I think that song comes in the PA system when you buy an arena. I think that they just went with whatever was built into the piano already.
That's ridiculous. You can't love that. Can't love it. 1-0. Panthers up early on the Oilers. I'm shocked we're not getting 7 here.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. It's early, Patrick. We've seen this Oilers team come back. I gotta go off the rails a little bit here. Can we talk Jonah Hill career real quick? I mean, he was phenomenal through that first run. I mean, you had Old School, you had War Dogs, you had Acceptance, which is a highly underrated movie. You had what was the Moneyball? I mean, he was crushing it for a while there. I think Dustin should be happy to be compared to that version of Jonah Hill.
No, Superbad. I think Superbad's one of the greatest movies of all time. I don't care. Yes. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. And honestly, it's partially based on my life. Things that
you've lived that night
have pretty much happened to me my entire existence on this planet.
We should mention Sage called earlier and said the big guy looks like Jonah Hill, and Hill's been on a heater with it. I mean, I can't think of any movies I've seen. I saw
21 Jump Street, Django,
22 Jump Street.
21 and 22 Jump Street are all-time hilarious.
They're actually really funny.
Funnier than 21.
Yeah. They're actually pretty darn good.
You watched both of them. I'm trying to think
days
of
they
any-
came out.
What have I seen that donk in? Yeah, probably Moneyball. I think I saw Moneyball. It was fine.
Check out War Dogs. You'd like War Dogs, Patrick. That's
War
another
Dogs is a
good
good
one.
movie, and it's based on a true story.
Yep.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, there you
I saw
go.
I saw Wolf of Wall Street. He's just so verbose when he speaks. You do
No,
have a
he's-
lot in common with him.
No, he's douchey.
I-
I'm kind of douchey too, though, but he's douchier.
Do you think it's a cheat code? If any callers out there, you want to get live on the show, just say that you want to compliment Dustin for a bet you won the night before. That would be like the cheat code of all time to be able to get onto the show, right, Patrick?
Mike.
Well,
Mike.
here's what happened. I saw on the call screen. Dustin, can you see the call screen?
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't
so
look at it
Dustin
that
knew.
much.
All it
I
said
didn't
was
know.
hold on. All it said was Sage wants to talk about Dustin's bets. When I went to him, Dustin tensed up like he was walking into an MMA fight. Like his initial thing in life is that people are going to come at him. So he was so angry as I went to take that call. And then you could just see the shoulders let go. You could see the exhale, and you could see the big smile on the cheesy ass face when he said, Dustin, I got to compliment you on a bet last night. And Dustin just sat back and was just like, well, bring it on. What else did I do? You
Well-
knew that was coming. You were prepared for a fight.
Well, look, I got my ass kicked last night. So when I did see you took the call, and I'm like, oh, what's this guy want to talk about? And it says Dustin's bets. I'm like, this is not going to end well for anyone involved. Mostly me, though. Mostly me, because I'm going to have to just take it on the chin here. And then he complimented a bet, one of the few that did win, so it made me feel a lot better.
Yep. But Samich is onto something. You want to get on the air. Hey, compliment the big guy.
It's true. It's true. I mean, but also we've let a lot of people on the air who want to go at me, so that's happened as well.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Well, life does come full circle, doesn't it? 38 minutes of Samich.
Wait,
Oh,
to
no.
be clear, Mike Samich, Carl Ravitch does or does not wear a wig.
I'm not a big man's hair guy. I come on here every week. You guys comment on my appearance. I'm not someone who's staring at other men. I'm not looking at their hair. I'm not looking at their beard. I'm not worried about that stuff.
Well, I guess this is even pulling back the curtain even more. When I first started working with Dustin, he only talked about men's looks to the point where I was like, just come out. Our show would be lit if we had a gay person on the show. That would be awesome. And then he was like, no, I'm honestly not. And I'm like, all you do is talk about how hot not guys are. That was a big thing for you. That was a big theme for you back in the day.
Yeah, John Stamos still number one, by the way, in case you were wondering.
All right, wasn't wondering. And I had nothing to do with Carl Ravitch getting taken down today. Carl, again, if you're listening, that was not on me.
I've always been awful at being able to spot wigs. Like I just assume everyone on TV is just that's their hair. Like, and then I found out like everyone's wearing wigs. Everyone. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah,
I
with
didn't
people
see
I
the
grew up
Ravitch
with.
thing, but then Dustin sent me the search, and it does
Yeah,
appear.
I will search it now, and then I'm sorry,
I'll
Carl.
tell you the one thing I've learned about watching people's appearances is the people I grew up with and I see them now, they have different noses than when we were kids. I can tell you that much. My community, a lot of nose jobs.
What community is that?
That would be Jewish people.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Taking on another class of human. This has been quite a ride for the big guy. In the break, you guys missed out on Czechoslovakia. Okay, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I sound Russian.
Technically wrong. I was technically wrong, but partially right about Czechoslovakia.
Yep, nailed it. Samo, VSiN host, Ready, Set, Bet, weekends 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Samo Bomb 18 on Twitter, and, of course, part of the RacingDudes.com team. Nice save by Bobrovsky, 4-on-4 here. Go enjoy the family, enjoy the hockey. Thanks, Samo.
You got it, guys. Have a good show. We'll catch you next week.
Okay, it's VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson. is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson.
Okay, early goal by the Panthers. They lead 1-0. Still 6:57 to play in the first period. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let's get back to the calls, and we'll say hi in Texas to our buddy Sean. Sean, welcome.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. So it's not near as impressive now, but I was calling in to say that no shot Edmonton wins this. It wasn't. Like, number one, well, their Batman, a.k.a. Leon Draisaitl, needs a Robin, and no one else is showing up. Yeah, I have joked, but, like, this is the second straight year that McDavid's flat out disappeared in the final. And you can come at me, Canada. I don't care, because facts are facts. And on top of that, Florida's just too deep. Like, they just are. And the biggest thing is you can make a goalie change once. But once you have to go back to him, you already screwed up. It's over. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
That poor kid in Skinner his family's gotten death threats because of some of the stuff. You've already kind of embarrassed him, and then now you're like, oh, go save us. Like, no, that doesn't ever work.
Always a good call from Sean. Great
Yeah.
job. Funny comment about Draisaitl needs a Robin. And then I've been harping on the Skinner thing. When they pulled him at, what was it, game 3 or whatever, and then you go to Pickard, and then you go back to Skinner, it just shows weakness. You got to stick with a goalie.
Yeah, Pandora doesn't go back into the box, right? That's the deal. It's the issue. Once you reveal that you don't believe in your goalie and you take him out for someone else, and the same issues pop up with that goalie, now you're just going back to a guy in Stuart Skinner's like, well, I guess I'm here to ride this thing out, people.
Yeah, I hated listen, maybe Knobloch, you could argue, what was he supposed to do? You're down 5-1 in game 3 or whatever it was. Leave him in there. Make your decision after it. Dicking around with him.
No, I've come around. You're right. You're right. In that game, just go down. You're losing anyway. Nothing's changing in that game. Like, now you've messed with his head.
And then they start him the next one, and then they pull him. Picard shines. Pickard then in game it doesn't play well at home in game 5. Then you pull him and you put Skinner back in. It's a little dicey.
It's not as easy for me to see with hockey. It's probably a little bit easier with football and basketball. But, I mean, with the talent Edmonton has, I understand how deep Florida is. But Edmonton still does have the 2 best players in the league. Knobloch probably deserves a little bit more criticism here, aside from even the goalie thing, but the lack of adjustments in these games. How is the defense still this bad? The opportunities Florida continuously gets. And then on the other end, Edmonton, if you're not going to stop anything on defense, at least have offense, and they're getting outshot, they're getting out-controlled. Florida has more puck control in this series than Edmonton does, so you're not doing anything well.
Well, bottom line is, if the Oilers end up losing this, that's back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. That's going to be a rough. Oh, nice save by Skinner.
What a shot!
Skinner had a beautiful save, so we got to give him credit as Florida leads 1-0. We'll come back.
Florida keeps getting looks.
Yeah, we'll come back with the adjusted price. You're going to hear from the Pacers and Thunder next. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Maher and Dustin Swedelson. Welcome back to VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson.
All right, VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio, as we welcome you back. Florida just keeps on peppering Skinner. Oh, they just missed wide on a one-timer. See if Edmonton can get something going the other way. As we right now, 2:45 to play in the first period. Florida leads 1-0. You got an adjusted price there on this one?
Yep, pulling it up as we speak. And right now, minus 345 in the Panthers, plus 250 with the Oilers. And if you wanted to lay a puck and a half with Florida, you now have to lay a price. It's minus 110.
Yeah. Real quick. So nothing from McDavid yet. I think it's 15 goals. That is third most in the last 30 years in the Stanley Cup playoffs for Bennett. It's crazy. They just flashed that. He's been out of his mind. He is the Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah, it's a playoff award. He's got 22 points in the playoffs because he also has 7 assists. And a lot of those goals have been on the road. And we think about how much that means in the postseason to show up when you're not at your home ice. I mean, you can't ask for more from one guy on a postseason run.
Yeah, I think he's close to a record for. Maybe he does have the record for road goals in the Stanley Cup playoffs, as you mentioned. So he's been off the charts there. Do you want to hear quick? Yeah, we have time. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the basketball and hear from the participants from last night.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton, obviously the question about his calf, went through an MRI today, still waiting on those results. And after the game where he was obviously limited, he was asked about his availability for a pivotal Game 6. Here's what he said.
If I can, walk, then I want to play. So, they understand that, and, is what it is. And, got to be ready to go for Game 6.
Yeah, he'll be playing, but I don't want to hear excuses. If you're going to play, if you're out there, you got to give us more than 4 points. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and I think he also has to be willing to tap out if he's not able to give them something because they have guys on their bench. TJ McConnell, I know that was a great opportunity. They have guys on their bench who could pick up the slack if he's not out there slowing things down and bogging down the offense while he's injured.
Florida is so dangerous right now. It's insane.
Dude, I feel like they're getting beautiful looks at the net.
They are. Skinner must be shell-shocked. He's just like, dude, the passing.
Oh!
They scored?
Yeah, dude,
Goal.
This is stupid.
This is crazy. You know what? Officially, it's not Skinner's fault.
It's not, dude. Look, he's not good. That's definitely part of the conversation. He's facing an onslaught every shift. Florida just keeps coming with more opportunities over and over. It's a 2-0 game now, just an avalanche of shots. I'm going to pull up the shots right now. It is, let's see, Skinner, 2 goals allowed on 9 shots, it looks like. And then Bobrovsky's faced 10.
Yeah, I don't think it's as imbalanced, but the quality of shot.
Yeah.
Kachuk, I don't know if it got redirected in front of the net. It's insane. What Florida's putting on a hockey clinic right now. And that is 6 straight first period overs. Samich just texted he was 46 seconds away from the under. I didn't want to say this on the air, but while he was talking about betting the first period under, what do you think I was doing? Betting the first period over.
But I understood where he was coming from for the under because it's an elimination game, because Florida could put him away. Like, the thought is mentally maybe they come out a little bit tight and the scoring doesn't happen right away. Not this series, not this year. It's nothing but goals over and over again.
Look, I got lucky, but based on just the barrage of shots like we were talking about, it's tied 10-10 shots on goal. But the quality of shot from the Panthers has been ridiculous.
No, I mean they could be at 4-0 right now, and I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, Skinner, he was sitting on his ass after the last goal, like, what the F?
What am I supposed to do?
But the Oilers, listen, all you have to do is get there at the first intermission and say, look, we've done this in Florida before, down 3-0 after the first period. It's 2-0. We can come back. We've done it. But it doesn't feel like that's on the table tonight.
No, man, but 46 seconds away from cashing for Somich. That is a brutal beat, but credit to you. You got the cash in hand.
Well, I got lucky. I'm just playing the averages. I mean, literally, this has been nothing but goals. We've had 5 straight overs, full game, 6 straight first period overs in the Stanley Cup Finals. So there's been some offensive fireworks, to say the least. So we're going to the first break with the Panthers leading 2-0 over McDavid. Is McDavid playing?
That's a good question. Let's make sure he's got some stats.
Didn't feel like there was much of an impact there.
One shot, and he's -1.
Yeah, didn't feel like an impact from McJesus. Best duo in hockey is McDavid and Draisaitl. Who's the best duo in basketball? We'll find out coming back. It's VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Covering the spread all night long. This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Live betting reaction to all of the night's action. You're tuned in to VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson.
Every pitch of the 2025 baseball season is on SiriusXM, including home and away broadcasts for every team on the SiriusXM app. Tonight, 10 Eastern, Rafael Devers debuts for the Giants in San Francisco against the Guardians. Hear the game in your car on Sirius 85, XM 185. Your home for baseball talk all season long is MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app. And while I'm at it, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. It's easy to do. There's no obligation. It's honestly, it's the easiest thing you're going to do, and it's very valuable because every morning you wake up, the VSiN newsletter is in your mailbox, and you get free bets. You get the daily betting menu kind of set up succinctly for you there. So make sure you check it out. VSiN.com/newsletter. Enter your email address. We are 2-0 at the first intermission down in Florida. Lord Stanley getting ready to get engraved. Hopefully, let's just again, it's 2-0 the Panthers lead. Let's pray for the exact same thing we saw happen in game 4, which was a absolutely spirited defensive effort and offensive effort with 3 unanswered goals from the Oilers in period 2 down in Florida.
Yeah, but this is conflicting now because I've never wanted to be so wrong about something I'm so confident that I'm right about. I'm so sure Florida's locking this thing up and it's over, but I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want the Oilers to come back. I want McDavid to have his big moment. I just don't see it. Where is the fight in this team? First period going back to last game, where are they with their season on the brink?
Shout to John Feinstein. You know what I'm saying? Season on the brink from the big guy. I'm trying to find Monterrey and Inter Milan soccer, so I do apologize. Let's see if we can find this.
So wait, that is a MLS team versus a Inter Milan. Is Milan Spain? Is that La Liga?
Milan is Milan, Italy.
Oh, it's in Italy. I'm not good at geography. We established that.
No, you nailed it.
I'm not cultured. I only know Milano cookies. That's all I know is Milano cookies.
I hear you. Milano cookies.
What league is Serie A? Serie A, is that Italy?
Yep.
What's
okay. You nailed it.
For years,
Milano cookies straight from Spain.
For years, I thought Serie A. I thought that's how you said I thought people were calling the country Syria. I didn't realize it was Siri and then the letter A. They call it in Italy. I thought they were talking about the country Syria. So I thought it was the Syrian soccer league.
I hear you. It's not. So Inter Milan is Italy, and you said MLS for Monterrey. Monterrey is in Mexico.
Oh, whatever.
So,
we're cross-pollinating with these soccer teams. That's my point.
Yeah, that is your point. Okay. I was waiting for your point.
I still don't know if I gave it.
No, I don't feel as though you did. If I'm being completely honest, but we can move forward.
We're doing crossover between the soccer leagues. All the leagues are playing each other. I don't know what that's called.
Well, this is FIFA Club World Cup, but it's not the actual World Cup, so don't get
instead of playing for your country, you're playing for your team, and it's all leagues going at it. I'm into it. I actually think that's actually a cool concept.
So just to recap, now they are playing at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
That's confusing now.
Dustin assumed Monterrey was USA and Inter Milan was Spain. So
I thought Monterrey was California. I thought that was the MLS team in the Bay Area. Monterey, California's Bay Area, right? I think so.
That's actually not terrible. It's better than Milan being in Spain.
Yeah, look, Spain, Italy.
Have you ever been?
It's kind of. Have I ever been?
Have you ever been? No, I was just gonna ask. Have you ever been to Barcelona, Italy?
I think they say Barcelona, and no, I've not been to Barcelona, Italy. Hey, There's a Cairo, Georgia.
Totally. 2-0 at the first intermission. There it is, and we've got a bet here from our buddy Joe in Bergen County. Let's see. Joe, welcome.
How you doing, guys?
Good, Joe. What's up?
With all due respect, when I first heard your show, I said there's no way these guys are lasting more than 6 months. But a couple weeks ago, I'm driving my son to a baseball game, and one of you guys you put it out there, Conn Smythe winner, Sam Bennett. I don't want to touch the money yet, but we're up 2-0. Is he still going to win this thing?
Oh, dude. You count your money. You spend it on your son. That's an
He's
easy
a minus
winner.
230 favorite. He's minus 230 now in the market.
Do you know what number you got?
When you told us, it was plus 3,000.
Yeah, that is easy money. You've won it. congratulate.
What
And
if
by
this
the way,
what if this other guy who just scored 4 goals in a row has got eight for the playoffs?
No.
Sam Bennett is having one of the great playoff seasons in history. He is going to win the Conn Smythe. And I just want to say, we are idiots. So 6 months ago, you were right. It's surprising we're still on the air. So don't worry about that. And count your money, because yes, you're gonna win that bet. I'm glad that you are.
How about admit this though? What does the NHL do in that the Conn Smythe is the entire playoffs?
It's the worst. It's the worst. No, thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. And don't ever. I've said this my whole entire career. Don't ever apologize for thinking we stink. First off, it's probably a tough listen at the beginning, and I'm not saying it gets any easier, people. But if you just hang in there, you might start to enjoy it. Either that or JT the Brick.
I think they say acquired taste.
Yeah,
the first time you drink beer and you drink beer, you're like, it's disgusting, and now I want to drink 6 of them in one sitting.
Something like that. Monterey, California versus Milan, Spain. Okay. They're underway at the Rose Bowl for the big guy. And why the hell is this not on my television? Can you filibuster here for a second while
what
focus?
Channel? What channel would that even be on? Fox?
I don't know, brother. I don't know. But I need you to filibuster here while I try to find this.
Well, I'm sweating out some bets. Jordan Westberg just won a bet for me, and I always want to call him Weston Richburg, former offensive lineman in the NFL. But we just hit a bet at VSiN.com/picks on Jordan Westberg, and the Orioles going over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI. But a big pet peeve of mine, I believe you shouldn't say RBIs. You should say RBI because the plural on runs is already built into the abbreviation. It's runs batted in. The plural is assumed.
All right, take it easy, prop queen. No need to beat me over the head with it. I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, it appears this game's not on television. That's all. I'm just gonna go with that. So I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna focus on the show. So I think
you got to go to you got to go to Old Faithful from back in the day. Addhe.net, ATDHE.net, where we used to watch all the illegal sports games.
Yeah, I don't want to go illegal. I just got too much going on in my life to start messing with illegal streams.
It's not immoral. It's just illegal.
What's the difference?
Look, you tried to do the legal way, which is find it on your regular broadcast channels. It doesn't exist. Now you have to go a different avenue where it is available on the internet. I miss the day. What was that Twitter at? Periscope. I miss the days of Periscope where people just used to live stream their TVs. I watched every boxing match, every UFC of someone's phone filming their television back in the day.
Just out of curiosity, what do you use as your delineation between morality and legality?
In this case,
no, just in general.
I mean, if I think it goes against the basic guidelines of being a good person, if I'm stealing, but there was an option to not steal, then yeah, I think it's immoral. In this case, you would not be stealing. You're just finding the avenue, the only way to consume the product.
You just got way too soft and serious there.
I
thought I was setting you up for a Dustinism, and then you went super professorial on me. Or take it easy, brother.
You asked me a kind of serious question, and if we're being fair, in the previous 2 hours of the show, I did kind of tote the line, and I'm trying not to cross it.
You did. You certainly did. Halliburton has a calf strain. He's had the MRI. He's going to play tomorrow night. That number, because of the injury, jumped from 4.5 up to 6. And I think it's still too light. You're not going to get a good game from Halliburton. It feels fait accompli. You understand? There's something else I wanted to pass along. Yeah, I think that's it. 2-0 at the intermission. Quickly adjusted price, and I'll get back to the calls on the game. If I wanted to bet the Oilers, thinking there's a chance.
Hey, it's plus 520. And I will point out,
that's exactly what it was when they were down 3-0, I believe.
Because we were like, you know what? Maybe it's worth betting. And I said, no, I already bet them plus $1.30. I'm not going to lose 2 bets, but plus 520 is juicy. So we're right back in that situation at the same point we were when they came back and won the game. So if you're feeling spicy, if you're into those sort of things, that is a massive number to get in game.
Look, I don't know much, but I know if the Panthers win this tonight, he's collecting that money for the Conn Smythe on Bennett. Lock.
Oh, yeah. And then on the other side, if you wanted to go plus 520, the desperation that they're in, like that is your key for handicapping the rest of the game, is you're dealing with the most desperate team you're going to get all season long with the Oilers, needing to find a way to extend this series another game.
The big guy broadcasting live from the Win Studios, Sirius XM, doing a solid to Doug Mortman as he sits on his throne there. Let's see. Speaking of the big guy, his arch nemesis, Mike in the OC, joins us. Hi, Mike.
What's up, my friend?
Hey, not much, brother.
Hey, you watch these Angels-Yankees? Yankees
Yeah.
scoring 27 straight innings. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy.
Uh,
The Angels are on
that-
fire right now. Now
Look
the
it up.
opposite would be the Yankee bats. Well, what's happening?
I don't know. Isn't Torrey at the game today? I thought he
Oh,
was.
is he?
someone's saying. That's what Russo said, but who the hell knows?
No. He had
They're
meetings all
not?
day.
It's a joke?
Don't
they're
fall
all
for the
there.
okie doke. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. He said they were taking him to the Yankees. You're right.
Oh,
You're right.
look
Now
at
I remember. Now I remember.
Oh,
Typical
Steve
big
did-
guy.
I'm the one
Steve,
giving you
Steve,
information,
Steve did,
Dustin.
Steve did say, I have meetings all day. That's why I'm missing my show. That I forgot at the end. He did say they're taking us to the Yankee game after all the meetings. He did say that. I forgot. Sorry. I
You just
apologize, Mike.
you completely
Wait a
just
minute.
dismissed Mike and said, "Oh, you're
Yeah,
an
you
idiot,"
totally
and then
dismissed me.
Mike was right.
Wait a
I
minute.
asked all over him. I'm
Justin
sorry.
doesn't get to go to this either? God, all these events. What the hell?
That's well played, actually.
Ooh.
That's well played.
Oh, no, it's okay. It'll be there for you one day. Anyhow, Patrick, June 17th. You know what the day is, right?
That's a good one.
It'll be there for you someday.
That was a good burn.
Every year.
That was a
Patrick,
good
we've talked
burn.
about this in a few years.
You're funny, Mike. You're funny. June
try to be
17th is
June
an
17th.
important.
What happened June
it's an-
17th,
It is an
1994?
important day.
Think-
I
lot going
don't know
on.
the answer.
Well, it's not Oh What a Night. Oh What a Night was a late December
June
back in 63.
17th,
So I don't
White
know.
Bronco, L.A. Orange
Oh,
County,
yeah.
down the freeway. Remember I told you the story? I'm sitting at a bar in Orange County. Some people are going the overpass 8 days before I got married. Patrick, June 17th. I didn't go.
I
by the
think
way. I, did
I
not-
think the bigger shocker,
What's that?
besides OJ with Al Collins or whatever the hell his name was,
Yeah.
bombing down
Al
the
Collins.
expressway, is the fact that you were sitting in a bar.
Well, it was happy hour with beautiful 10, and I were getting married 8 days later. So we always went to kind of this happy hour place in Brea, California. And we sat there, and all of a sudden people were like, what the hell's going on? So people started moving away. I didn't go. I just hung out, but people drove over there. That's what it is. I told you the deal. I saw Chris Darden a couple years later. He was on the prosecuting team in the elevator in Beverly Hills. I said hi to him in the elevator. How you doing? He says, you're okay. But that's what I do. I run across these people. You know, it's just
Yeah.
the way it kind of goes sometimes. You know, so there you go. Remember that story, Patrick? Let's go back to that story real quick. So when you pulled in the driveway, ABC News, right? So you had Peter Jennings, late great Peter, and Al Michaels is on. Why they had Al on? Who the hell knows? Because it's kind of sports. And someone called in, right, saying, hey, I see OJ pulling up the driveway. And he started saying a few things. And Al goes, Peter, don't fall for that. That's a farcical call. That's somebody that calls a well-known talk show. It was
I remember. It was a
Captain
Howard
Jenks.
Stern prank. And
Captain Jenks.
it was Captain Jenks from the Stern
Yes.
Show. And Al Michaels said something like, lest anybody believe that to be true, it's a farcical call. Something like that.
Look at you. Perfect. And Peter goes, okay, thank you, Al, for that information. I mean, how the hell did he get through to go on air? Those are the days, right? Jenks was amazing, that guy. I mean, he called Larry King in the day and all this Michigan stuff. So
I heard you call Babchick
Whatever.
right before our show started
Oh.
here.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I'm glad you brought that up. You know that guy had full lines? What is the deal? He's like a sensation. You put him on there,
Babchick's a
he had all
freaking,
the
he's a
fouls called in.
superstar. He's a superstar.
Is that the most least likely success story in sports radio history?
Mike's on one.
Well, Mike, yeah, you are on one. Why would you
It's
say?
amazing,
Why
though.
would you
It's
say
incredible.
it's unlikely? Why would you say it's unlikely?
Well, I'm
for
just
Babs?
saying, like, he's gone from everything about him, and then he goes to kind of working in the studio. right? He was helping
That's
out.
true.
What he started with Evan, and he started with Phillips, and he moved his way up. Now look at him. I mean, he survived all these changes, right? Evan left, and Willie Colon, and all this. He keeps hanging on. Look at him; he's still thriving. Good for
Babs
him.
is
It's
the
fantastic.
ultimate. Babs is the
It's
ultimate
fantastic.
American success story.
He's so good though. He's so funny because he's himself, right? He doesn't try to be anything different. That's the bottom line, Patrick. That's like you. Just be yourself. That's what I do. Dustin, be yourself. Just be yourself.
No,
Like you don't
no.
like it, whatever. What?
No, it's
No?
not. I'll get fired if I'm totally myself, Mike.
You were a little crazier back in the day. That is true. A little
Yeah,
bit. You noticed the other day? Wait, go ahead. I
Yeah,
got one
no,
more thing
please.
for you, though.
Yeah, go. Yeah, please.
No, you remember when Dustin's in Atlanta? He was at his parents, and remember his toilet overflowed or something one show?
No, I
remember
broke the
that
down.
show?
They had to get a whole new downstairs. The
They
toilet
did?
lifted off the ground and it flooded the entire place I was
it
doing the
flooded
show.
the whole
They had to get all new
downstairs?
floors.
I remember
Yeah.
the show. How did you stay on for 3 hours, though, with crap flowing? Oh, my God. I couldn't
My
believe it. I felt bad
feet
for you.
were literally in soaking wet carpet filled with the remains of the toilet.
I don't remember. Thanks, Mike. I don't remember that one. I just remember when. What?
You might have left by then. I don't remember.
I don't remember that one. I just remember the big guy who can't stand his family. He was on one of his diets, and his mom used to cut up vegetables for him every day and like slide it under the door. And he's like, "Ma, leave me alone. I'm doing a show over here." And she would just be delivering him like vegetables cut up perfectly.
One time I remember you were like, "Oh, who's at the door? Is it your mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What, Mom, meatloaf?" And I was like, "Literally, she delivered me meatloaf for dinner." She actually did
which
give
is,
me meatloaf.
and for some reason it always pissed you off. Like
Everything bothers me.
Yeah, I can't believe you're bringing me home cooked meatloaf and vegetables. You jerk.
Hey, I miss those days. I wish I could go back to not cooking my own meals, buying my own groceries. It was a great run during the end of COVID for me. It's helped me lose all that weight. I didn't have to any
Nope.
responsibilities.
Speaking of food, no food. Fast Tuesday.
Oh, how we feeling?
Last thing I ate was last night, right after the show. I'm flying. I'm flying 48 hours every week. That's the new thing. Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm going to tell you something. And I'll admit that out of nowhere, I just started getting eczema. This is for people. You got to check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I started getting eczema around my eyes, like bad rash or whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, I feel like my system needs a reset. I did a 72-hour fast, and it all went away. What is that?
Well, look, I'm sure there's results coming from the fast. But are we sure the rash you were getting wasn't the Justin Termini haven't washed my sheets ever rash?
No, I literally wash my sheets every 5 days. I'm
Really?
a very
Every
very
5
clean person.
days? I'm like every
once a
other
week at least. Once a week,
Oh, I'm
brother.
every other.
We
You can't do it every week.
We are close to 4 minutes into period 2 with the Panthers leading 2-0. Now the Oilers have come out on their front foot and have had a couple of nice shots on goal, but Bobrovsky has stared them away. So we shall see if the Oilers can climb back into this one, as we need it. We need a Game 7. All right. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just stretch it out. Stretch it out. We need the drama. One of these series needs to go 7, and I don't believe either one is capable of going the distance right now.
Let's have the conversation. So last night, Jalen Williams was awesome. It's crazy because Jalen Williams can play so well, and then it almost overshadows just another maestro-like performance from SGA, and that got us to thinking, are they the best duo in basketball right now? SGA, Jalen Williams. We'll get your calls, 888-623-3646, and answer that question next. It's VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Welcome back to VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson.
You know, the Sheets thing as well. 2-0, Florida leads Edmonton. 13:59 to play in the second. See if Florida hoists Lord Stanley at their barn. They did it last year in Game 7. This year they look to do it in Game 6. Oilers looking to force a Game 7 back in Edmonton in a couple of nights. Of course, you got Game 6 tomorrow night. Am I right? It's tomorrow night on the wood basketball.
No, Thursday.
Oh, damn it! I gotta wait another day.
Yes.
Why didn't I know that? Yeah, that's stupid. Anyway,
because they're stretching it out. They're desperate. They want people to tune in.
So just quickly on the Sheets, and this makes sense to people because people know Termini. This was the classic. So maybe I jumped the gun, but definitely once a week I'll wash my sheets. And in the summer, it's like twice a week because you're just nasty. I've always been a little anal. I wouldn't say hyper obsessive, but a little anal about cleanliness. I'll admit maybe there's a little something going on there.
You're also a pretty organized person.
Very organized, minimal. Don't really keep a lot of crap in my house. Just odd. I've never owned anything in my life. 47 years old. I really got nothing going on.
Got a dog.
So to be completely honest, so this is Brooklyn circa 07. Right, and in New York City, it's a polarity. In the summer, there's no way for the air to go anywhere, so it's just stifling. You're just cooking in the humidity, and just it gets so freaking hot. And in the winter, it gets super cold. But that summer, because of no airflow, because of the buildings, obviously, it gets nasty. Well, I'm walking with my buddy Justin Termini, you know JT, 2 T's. NBA radio for many, many years, good friend. And we were talking, and he said, you know, this is weird. My whole entire side of my face keeps on breaking out. And I said, let me take a look-see. You know what? You're right. That's odd. Like if you cut your face down in half, one side of his face looked like he was a prepubescent kid. The other face looked pretty good. The other side of his face. And I said, can I ask a personal question? He said, yeah. I said, when's the last time you washed your pillowcase? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, but what side do you sleep on? And he points to the acne-ridden side. And I said, you got something going on with your sheets, brother. And he said, no, that's not it. And I said, well, may I ask, when's the last time you washed? Now, at this point, he was living in a basement in Brooklyn of his uncle.
Yeah.
And I said, well, just tell me, when's the last time you washed your sheets? And he said, over a year ago. That's insane. So he had been through a summer. He had been through a fall. He had been through a spring. He had been through a winter. And now he was circling back to another summer and hadn't washed his sheets in 1 full year. So I said, first off, I did the thing where I literally was like gagging. I'm like, oh, you tell a clean freak that you haven't washed your sheets. And then I said, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to wash your sheets today. And then I bet your face clears up. Washed his sheets. Next thing you know, he's got the skin of John Stamos. But that was, again, JT, and he'll be proud of it. So you call him on NBA radio. You tell him I told the story. We've told the story a million times. He'll say he's proud of it. But he's more like you. So what happened was, after I told him you should wash your sheets, that's why you have acne, he still waited a couple of months to wash the sheets.
Oh, he wanted to prove that you were wrong, that it was a fluke, that after you did the thing you told him to do. I understand that mentality. You don't want Patrick to be right. You don't want
there
to
are
tell him
certain people in my life that you have to finesse to get him to do stuff. You're one, he's another one. You go the opposite way, or you allow the person to feel like it was their decision.
Yeah, you have to try to you have to try to convince me to do something that's best for me, but you have to make me believe it was my idea and you had nothing to do with it at all. Like you didn't lead me there in any way.
Correct.
Yeah.
You and JT are exactly the same in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, dude, wash your sheets. oh, that's not what it is. I'm not going to wash my sheets. And then like a couple months later, he's like, hey, by the way, I gave in. I washed my sheets. My face looks great.
He's doing a science experiment on his skin just to prove you wrong that you helped him out with, by the way. You helped him solve the situation.
And I'm like, I don't want to get into too many details, but I do think he had maybe a woman or two over, and it's just like.
So we're talking other germs are now exposed on this petri dish.
You don't need a Bunsen and a what is it, a Bunsen burner and a beaker to figure out that was a science experiment going on. I mean, literally grossest thing I've ever heard. Anyway, 2-0. Florida leads. 11 minutes to go in the second. So that's where we're at there. Let's get back to your calls. 888-623-3640. When he said he hadn't washed them in a year, to this day, it's the craziest thing I've heard anybody say. There's been that is 1 year. Even an idiot. And I understand guys are the worst and gross. But, yeah, I've gone it's been a couple of months in college. I haven't washed my sheets. Okay, it's still disgusting, but I get it. A year as an adult, grown-ass male?
A year is a crazy number. 6 months is a crazy number. I'd say 3 months is also a crazy number. A year is freaking insane.
Is it soft of me to say there is nothing like the feeling of getting in bed after sheets have been cleanly washed?
No, if you're going to do it, you have to time it so that you take it out of the dryer right before bedtime, put it on the bed, and you get to capitalize on those fresh, clean sheets. I completely agree.
Put it on the board. 2-0 Florida. Let's say hi to, back-to-back. Good to hear from Tony in Dallas again. Tony, hi.
You know what, Dustin? I pray to God you still have a girlfriend, because if not, if any chance that you thought of getting laid by anybody that just heard that you don't wash your sheets every week.
What?
Dude, you're not
every week?
You're not in college. Dustin, you're not in college anymore. We got to wash our sheets every week, at most every 10 days. You can't
every week?
Every 10 days is a good barometer. That's fine. Every 10 days.
I do every other week, and I do every day before my girlfriend visits. In fact, usually when she gets there, they're coming out the dryer.
I am sure that you don't have the most pedicure-fitted feet and all your dry cell particles that are on that. You got to wash that every week.
He's got hair all over. He's got hair all over his back.
Hold on. You're partially right, but my feet are well pedicured because I just had my second pedicure ever 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I am 1,000% behind Patrick here. And, Termini might be a little odd. I get that. But every week, just like your towels, man, you got to wash your towels every week.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be recycling those.
No, we don't do that.
I do towels. It's maybe 2 showers, and I rotate. Maybe
2 showers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
at least a week. At least a week on a towel.
No chance. No chance. Thank you.
Way too much grease. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you a quick sports question? I hope you're not going to owe that dude a lot of money. You don't think that Marchand can get the Conn Smythe here? You really think it's
the market says
done?
The market right now has what is the number on Bennett?
Bennett's minus 240. So he's moved since the game started. Marchand's up to plus 285.
Yeah, that would be a pretty big adjustment for the market. I think it's Bennett. Bennett's having an all-time. Again, it's the full playoffs, as you know, Tony, which is goofy, but it's going to be Bennett.
Yeah. Okay. I just, I didn't realize that, but, Marchand's having such a great, yet another Boston athlete that gets sold down the river and then ends up winning a, some sort of an award or a Stanley Cup or a World Series ring.
And he feels like, what's crazy is like he feels like such a Panther. Like he's integrated himself perfectly. He plays their style of hockey, Marchand.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's great. He's been great. He's been great.
No, he has. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. First off, how many does Marchand have in the postseason?
Goal. Let me look it up, Brad. But they were just getting into it too on the ice. So now,
because the Oilers are starting to get pissed, and if they start getting into it with the Panthers. They're playing right into their hands, dummies.
That's the problem. They think fighting's going to somehow ignite them and give them a spark, and it's doing everything that the Panthers want them to do. That's the problem there. Let's see. Marchand postseason, he's got 10 goals, and he's got 10 assists. So he's got 20 points.
It's 15 goals. It's 15 goals for
7.
Bennett with a record on the road.
Yeah,
no. It's
the record
Bennett.
on the road is crazy. No.
Bennett's going to win the Conn Smythe. My man's going to be fine.
If you want to take a little, it's 30 to 1. You want to take a little portion, you want to put it on Marchand, fine. But then know what's going to happen. Know what's going to happen though at the end. Bennett's going to win, and you're going to be regretting that you cut into your winnings to hedge on a guy who wasn't ever going to win the Conn Smythe.
I should
because
say
if Marchand scores here, the goal has nothing to do with them winning this game.
I should say thank you to Spencer Catalano on Twitter, who passed along to Dustin that the Monterey and Inter game is on DAZN. I don't have
so
that.
Confusing.
I don't have DAZN.
DAZN has been around the longest. I don't know anyone who has it, and I never know how to say it correctly.
Well, yeah, you would think it's DAZN, but it's DAZN.
Yeah.
What horrible marketing!
I thought it was DAZN, so I mean, I just found out it's not.
I did just put a DAZN in my mouth.
It'd be good sponsorship for them. I think you just made an ad sale.
There's
someone very distracting on my screen behind the bench, by the way. Always
DAZN, yeah, a young lady. DAZN was created for boxing, I believe, and then they had to start because they wanted to have big boxing matches, and then they started to branch out a little bit, and apparently they're now showing soccer. But I'm not signing up for another effing thing ever in my life. I have everything.
But if you're going to sign up and there's a free trial, the one thing you have to do is cancel it as you're using it for the first time. If not, you're never going to remember to cancel it. That's the only trick I've learned.
Maybe, you know what? I signed up for Peacock because of the Premier League. But Peacock, they hoodwinked me when they had that stupid Miami and Kansas City game in the snow on. And I think, all that happened was sign up for a year and then they just auto redo it, that should be banned in government. And speaking of government, our next caller is very involved in politics, and that is Hayden in D.C. on his way to Iran. Hi, Hayden.
I just wrapped up with a military parade out here. Come on, you got to cut me some slack. Give me a few days to wrap up from the festivities. I mean,
Yep. We had a parade. Our president looked enthused at the parade. I'll say that. Absolutely.
Oh, he was well into it. I mean, that was a wonderful time. I mean, you should have been out here. You should have visited us. But by the way, I'm going to have to show up to Bar A just so I can heckle that fool to his face. So
you and Mike and the OC together? That is explosive.
I can't wait. As the saying goes, you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. And him jumping on a plane to hang out with me for 4 hours, not exactly the smartest decision he's made in his life. So looking forward to that.
Are you're actually going to Chris's thing at Bar A? Have you been before?
I will be there, and I promise you, I will, in a nice, jovial, friendly way, make sure that he knows that he is one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life,
Hey, well, I was just thinking about you. Whatever happened with that thing? Weren't you going to get an opportunity to do a show on Mad Dog Sports Radio at one point?
Yeah, it was Steve Torrey. I was supposed to host with Steve during football season. I was invited up to the luxurious, Rockefeller Studios, and Steve pulled the plug about 48 hours in advance.
What happened? Did you piss him off, or was it just random?
No. The real truth is, Dog set it on air as shtick during the summer, kept the shtick going for 3 months, and then literally kept the shtick going to the time it was supposed to happen. And Torrey basically walked in and said to his office and said, "I'll quit if I have to, go on the air with Hayden."
You're polarizing. We had somebody call up the other day and say that you're their favorite caller.
Oh, I get a lot of people. You'd be shocked of my list of people who reach out to me, and celebrities. A lot. I get. You'd be shocked. You know,
I believe it. I believe it.
Hayden, was the invitation in reaction to Patrick and I having Mike in the OC in studio? Was there something with that?
I think that's what it was.
No. See, what that fool doesn't realize is I was actually in the studio with Dog years and years and years ago. So he keeps telling everybody he was the first Mad Dog caller ever invited. First off, they only let him go because he was out going out to California with you guys, and you guys were brave enough to invite him, and they really weren't much aware. And
Yeah.
you know, and it was California, but you know, it's funny. You know, the Dog did it as shtick, and Steve was so angry about it. And I knew I was never going to do it with him, but everyone else was just ready for that show to happen.
That would have been, honestly, must listen. You and Tori together would have been hilarious.
Hayden, can you believe Mike in the OC was invited to our studio on Gavin Newsom's watch? That must drive you insane.
You know, Gavin, he's a good entertainer right now. He's giving me some, you know, he provided those rides for me to watch last week. So how can I complain? But I have to ask you this. By the way, you mentioned the McConnell thing, and I do want to bring this up. When they brought him out last night in the fourth quarter, they were down 10, 92-82. And the first thing I thought when the game ended was, McConnell's got to be in the court. But they actually made that run when they got it to 95-93. He was not on the court.
Yeah, you're right. Al was right. You guys corrected me. Maybe I just felt like it was different, but I stand corrected. But I do think he still should have been out there more than 22 minutes.
100% agree. He was the best player on the court when he was out there, and I even made the argument that in Game 3, you might have want to use him on the end of the court. For whatever reason, they're not closing these games. Their offense, they're not handling the pressure late. Obviously, Halliburton's compromised. And I promise you, Patrick, when I get the Bar A, I will go out of my way. If he's anywhere within an earshot of me, I will heckle him for 4 straight hours.
I want videos. I want pictures. We will retweet them. You send them to the big guy, and we will make sure that goes up there. There's our buddy Hayden.
It's going to be like those viral videos of people who accost politicians and celebrities in the street about some critical issue going on. That's what Mike in the OC is in for with Hayden at Bar A.
See, here's the thing. Like this, and that's what makes not just a good host, but good callers. Like Hayden probably won't take offense to this because he likes to rabble-rouse a little bit. I would imagine there are plenty of people that love Hayden and love to hate Hayden. In a weird way, that's what Mike's done, but Hayden is in on it. Mike never tried to be Hayden.
Yeah. Hayden understands you're going to either love him or you're going to hate him. It's one or the other. Mike is like, I'm just kind of goofy and lovable. Why does everyone hate me?
Yeah, Mike is bewildered.
I don't get it. What are you going to do?
When people are annoyed with him, he's like, what's going on? All I did was just read off the Lakers starting lineup, and now people are upset with me.
I just told you the names of the players that played on the Showtime Lakers and as to why I like them better. I just said their names. Didn't even tell you what they did.
It's like, it's weird because like Hayden's like, yeah, I understand I piss people off. That's what I'm trying to do. Mike's just like, I just want to be friends with everybody. Why do so many people hate me?
He's a puppy dog. Mike in the OC is a puppy dog. He doesn't understand that sometimes when he pees on the carpet, people are going to be upset with it.
Yeah. And the true story behind, first off, I don't think people were too happy with us having Mike in studio. I can't remember.
No.
I have a terrible memory. But here's how it went down. He had been begging the big guy would come. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then I think I was moving to Vegas.
Yes.
And I was just like, you know what? F it. If he wants to come up, let him come up. And then
it was like it was the first month we opened the new studio, and we were like, let's use the new studio. Let's invite a listener up.
Right, because we had who else did we have in studio in that studio?
Dan Woike came to that studio, and there weren't really many others because COVID happened like 2 months after it opened.
I felt like we had somebody else that mattered up there, but
Evco and Babchick came out once.
Man, I don't remember anything. I definitely don't remember them coming up.
Oh yeah, you weren't happy with me because I was hanging out with Babchick all day.
Well, doing shtick.
Yeah, you were like, just get out of Babchick's a-hole is what you just said.
We would just always, somebody ends up naked.
Yes.
No, the time, and genuinely, I never really got upset, but the time that I was like, are you effing kidding me, was back to Termini. Termini comes back home to California, and he said he went to the Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
And he came back and he's like, do you know what your producer was up to at Falcon? I was like, I have no clue. And he's like, I think he was naked.
I was walking around a bar in my underwear.
Right. And I was just like, I mean,
I was drunk out of my mind too, though.
Yeah, no, but everybody was drunk there. You were the only one in your underwear.
You know, my point, I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to be remembered. It's a really sick thing. I wanted to be remembered in the moment. And had I been sober, I probably just would have been topless. But because I was drunk, I went bottomless as well.
Right, but here's the thing. Representing the show, that's fine. People understand it's the big guy. That's what I signed up for. However, why you don't respect me, I guarantee you this. You're not going to be anywhere in your underwear now that you have a girlfriend.
No. And no, look, I'm not proud of that moment.
See?
I'm not proud of that moment. I won't justify it. I was so desperate for the attention of other people to remember that I showed up to the party that I had to make it about me. And I remember I looked at Evan Cohen. He's like, I want you to come up here. I'm going to announce that you're here on the microphone. I was like, well, what should I do? He's like, I don't know. I was like, should I take my shirt off? He goes, if you want to. I go, I'll just get naked and take my pants off too. He goes, I guess if you want to do that, sure. And he didn't stop me, so I did it. And here's the worst part. During that trip, prior to me getting naked, I was asking the bosses for a promotion, which I later got. Somehow me being naked didn't prevent that, but it very well could have.
Somehow it led to you flexing about a raise. That's a good job by you.
I didn't say a raise. I said a promotion. I said a promotion, not a raise.
I remember I was at the tennis courts of West Hollywood with JT. We're sitting down getting ready to play. He tells me that story. I swear I didn't talk trash, but I go, let's play. And I was just crushing the ball. I was just like, what is this guy doing? He's naked at a freaking work event?
No, and then instead of yelling at me and being angry, you were like, you made me sad. And I'm like, what? You're like, you made me really sad. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
That's not
That's
nice.
one way to approach it.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
I was like, oh, I feel awful now. I was like, I made this guy sad about something I did that I thought was funny. But I understood where you were coming from. It took me a minute, but I did understand.
That wasn't cool of me. All right.
No, you were looking out for me. You were sad for me. You're like, dude, you're better than that. You don't have to do that.
But then again, you did get a promotion, so maybe you made the right move. And
maybe
let's think about
left.
It was like Steve Cohen as a boss then. He probably was super impressed. Literally.
I don't know. I was wearing spandex boxers. Like you could see.
Oh my gosh. You could, yeah. Even Cannell texted me.
I
Cannell
was playing
there.
beer pong with Cannell in my underwear.
Cannell literally wrote, "Do you know what the big guy's doing right now?" And I'm just like,
But here's the thing, Dustin 2019 that's what Dustin wanted. Dustin then wanted everyone talking about anything he did, so just be as outrageous as possible and cross the line completely. That way you've established this is now the Dustin spotlight.
Naya and Ryan at VSiN Live running our YouTube, which you can always get involved in the chat, watch the show. Naya back in New York City, been a producer of the show for many months now. They just heard that story for the first time, and I guarantee they were just like, yeah, of course he was in his underwear at a work event. Like, the point is they're not surprised to have heard that.
I've grown a little bit. I'm not going to say a lot. I've grown a little bit.
Ryan said, I'm judging the F out of him. Well, it's a true story, brother.
Yeah, everyone else at the party did. There was a lot of people in there, too. There was a lot of people just watching me walk around my underwear with my dingling outline out.
There you go. The outline. Not many people saw it. 2-0. Florida leads Edmonton. 2:36 to play in the second. Edmonton get nothing going, although they are out shooting them. Is that a goal? That's a goal. Florida leads 3-0. It's over.
Oh, they're sweeping the leg. They've just swept the leg.
Hey, our guy in Bergen County, he's going to find out if he's going to cash that Sam Bennett play tonight.
Well,
because
I believe that was Barkov who scored, so we're good there. It wasn't Marchand, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe here with Bennett. We'll come back, close tabs. VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Mad Dog Sports Radio with Patrick Meagher and Dustin Swedelson. today's show. You see what I did there? Yeah. By finishing all of the conversations we touched on today. This is Closing Tabs.
All right, it's time for Closing Tabs. 3-0. Florida just tacked one on. So 3-0 with under a minute to go in the second period. It's going to take a miracle for Edmonton to come back here. It's time to close tabs, big guy, before we get out of here.
All right, a lot to wrap up on the show. You mentioned Sidney Crosby. You compared him to Connor McDavid and said, you know, Sidney's won a few cups, and I only remembered one, but apparently Sidney Crosby and the Penguins have won 3, 09, 16, and 17. Shows you how much attention I've been paying to hockey over the years.
You know what? I got lucky. If you forced me, I probably would have said 2, but I knew they won more than 1.
All right. You brought up, you said, quote, Stuart Skinner returns to, between the pipes, not to be confused with a few years ago when Lisa Ann returned between the pipes.
So stupid.
Either end of them.
That's a pornography reference for those playing at home.
I
And
brought up-
that's another one that was funny. The big guy genuinely thought he was going to date Lisa Ann, the porn star, at one point. You remember that? You thought she
Are
was
you
into
doing
it.
this right now?
Oh, no. Oh, shoot.
No. Not has nothing to do with my girlfriend.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Sorry. I wasn't really.
Do you really think I believe that? Do you really think I believe that?
I think there was a part of you that. See, here's the thing: Lisa Ann likes to play guys in our industry.
Yes.
And I think there's 70% of you that knew she was playing a game, and 30% of you that thought, maybe she's into it.
No, there was 99% that played along with the shtick because it was mutually beneficial.
Okay, I believe it.
Also, look. I mean, you can want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, but some of us know we're not built to do certain things, and I know I'm not built to do either of those things that we just talked about in this conversation. So there was no chance I was going to live up to those standards.
I hear you, brother. That's you got to pack a big lunch if you're going to hang in that part.
yeah. Damn. Take my supplements that day.
Hims. Yeah.
I brought up Cairo, Georgia. It's actually pronounced Cairo, Georgia, and it is the birthplace of one Jackie Robinson. Their high school football team is called the Syrup Makers.
It's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not maple syrup. It's the syrup that goes in a pecan pie. I think it might be called Cairo syrup.
3-0, second intermission. Florida leads. They're one period away. Edmonton's going to leave without the cup, but they're one period away from back-to-back Lord Stanleys for the Florida Panthers.
I am not a financial advisor, but if you'd really like to win $100 and you have $8,500 to lay, it does feel like a safe bet right now. Or you could go 20-1 on the Oilers.
Oh, okay. That's what the number is in game. All right.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about I thought they may have put the Conn Smythe market back up.
No, I think that is off the board. No, it's back up. Sam Bennett minus 300.
Wow. After another goal, he only adjusted 60 cents.
I would have thought minus 500 or 1,000 at this point. I'm pretty because that whatever Marchand, who's the second shot at the board at plus 320, whatever he does, it will still be after Bennett scoring a goal. Bennett's goal is more important than Marchand's goal. So I don't see how he's only minus 300.
Bennett's winning the Conn Smythe. What else you got?
All right, closing tabs here. Let's see. So, Mike already brought up the O.J. Simpson thing. Also, let's see. Born on this day. Kendrick Lamar, hand up, don't get it.
Nah, I'm not a fan.
I
don't really care. Although that was a bop. The one that he
No.
Not Like Us, that was a bop.
Yeah. Hey Drake, I hear you like him young. Also born on this day. I feel like you have a take on this name when I say it, and I've got nothing. Igor Stravinsky.
Stravinsky?
Composer, Russian composer.
Yeah,
he
he's
was born on this day.
I mean, tremendous composer, specifically with the violin, so the strings. Stravinsky was a master with the strings, not necessarily, from what I remember, the piano. There we
born
go.
on
with
this
some
day in 1882.
R.I.P. Big guy, enjoy your trip. Naya, thank you. Ryan Smith, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. VSiN Live. It's Mad Dog Sports Radio.
covering the spread all night long. This is VSiN Live on Mad Dog Sports Radio.